Howdy to everyone, my name is Angie, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Our Life. We're on part 23, and this will be the last of the Derek middle school DLC, I should say. It's not the last of the Derek DLC, but it's the last chapter of the Derek DLC. Nice thumbnail, thank you very much. You're really going to start live at 0:30? Well, the thing is that it's not 0:30 for me. It is, in fact, not. And hi, welcome in. Alright, I hope school's been treating everyone well. It's now, like, towards the end of summer now. We're kind of saying goodbye to it, so I think school's back in session for most people. So I hope that's going well for everyone. I'm too old now. I don't have school anymore. I'll finally get to wear glasses and be a 4'6" adult. Yeah! Alright. I don't have a lot to say. I'm tired. I'm tired today, man. I've had so much. I've been doing. Excited about the newest thumbnail. By the way, Angie, I'm still your favorite? Absolutely. Still treat me nice? You're my favorite. Okay, let's go to the boardwalk. I've been, I think, the most excited for this chapter for some reason. I can't tell you why, just like the idea of going to a boardwalk makes me really happy. Alright. It was early morning, but the day was already buzzing with excitement. Your whole family was gathered together with all 5 I can't say this name! It's not a hard name. It's not. I can think the name correctly, but I can't say it. First line in the game. Let's go. Where is our... Oh, yeah, Derek and Cove mascots. One second. Hold on. I'll get that up. All right, it's here. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. Illiterate as always. Yep. I'm working on it, you know. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school. It's just not the same without them. No, it can't be the same without them. Look at them. They're perfect. And of course I remembered Oliver. He's staying. Alright. It was early morning, but the day was already buzzing with excitement. Your whole family was gathered with all 5 Suarezes in their cozy living room. Today, you were all making a trip out to the boardwalk set park. It was a regular enough outing for Derek's family, but it would be your first time going. Not to interrupt so soon. My neighbors are being awfully loud today. They're having fun outside. So I'm hoping you guys won't be able to hear them quite so much. But yeah, if you hear a bunch of people talking, that's my neighbors. They're having fun out there. All right. The boardwalk was a few hours away, and it was even further when setting out from Sunset Bird. That's why the adults decided on the meetup here at the Suarez's apartment instead of gathering at the boardwalk itself. Derek is too poor to be carried in a gold platinum to Disney planets like we are. Yeah, exactly. I can't hear them. Good. I'm glad. The kids are over there shouting. I don't know what my mic is gonna pick up. It gave your moms a little break from driving, and everyone got their last chance to run to the bathroom. You would be leaving very soon. While you waited for the trip to officially start, you sat on the couch with your hands in your lap. For a few minutes now, you tried to keep track of what the group gathered around the kitchen counter were up to. Elizabeth, your moms, and Mrs. Suarez were all busily making preparations from what you could tell. Meanwhile, Mr. Suarez had his hands full of rounding up his 2 youngest kids. Hello, how are you today? By the way, I'm here for the How to Train Your Dragon references. Good to see you, Oakby. Alright. Shoot. I'm gonna drink some tea real fast. My throat is already drying out. Is this what lack of sleep does? Is that a symptom? Or I just have a dry throat today. Let's keep going. It seemed that they were taking an anti-shoe stance that morning, and in Nicholas's case, he needed to be talked into wearing a shirt too. Kids. On the cushion next to you, Derek was pumped for what the boardwalk had to offer. He was rambling a mile a minute about all the fun stuff he couldn't wait to show you. Let's see. Excited about it. Excited about it. Boardwalks are fun. I love going to them. Bouncing your leg, you struggled to contain your energy. You were just as eager to experience everything he described. This journey was also the first time your and Derek's family were doing a big activity together. You couldn't believe it originally when the adults went through with organizing the trip.
Let's go.
Kids, come join us at the kitchen. It's time to pack your treat bags. Cool. Sliding off the couch, you didn't have the faintest idea what Mrs. Suarez meant, but you were summoned, and so you followed Derek's lead. Is Derek edible? I'm gonna say no. I've been told by my HR that humans are in fact not edible and should not be eaten. So I don't recommend that. He turned to say something over his shoulder. He'd guessed that line might have been confusing to a newcomer. The snack bags are what we do for larger trips. Me and my brothers, and you and Elizabeth too, we get to fill a little plastic baggie with any sweets and stuff we want. Dang. Yeah, not recommended you eat, people. Don't eat your friends. This is a message by Angie Lumine. It's supposed to be for eating during the hours-long drive, but no one really cares when we snack. It's just so we have something if we need it. I really like it. It's really nice.
Same.
I think so too. It's great to have one on hand. As you reach the kitchen, Elizabeth breezed past you with your moms, following at a more relaxed pace. Derek raised a skeptical brow and pointed in her direction with his thumb. Did you learn that in LobCorp? No, that was actually Hollow Knight, believe it or not. Well, I guess HR is from LobCorp. Doesn't she want a bag? Elizabeth stopped and spun around on her heel. Surprised, Derek pulled his hand back to his side. Elizabeth's lips curled into an all-too-pleased smirk. You heard Mrs. Suarez. She called for the kids to come. Ma shook her head at Elizabeth's taunting display. Your sister stepped forward and held up a zip bag that you hadn't noticed before. I already got mine while we were getting things set up for the rest of you. Her baggie was full of dried fruits and chocolate chips. She teasingly dangled it in your face and then in Derek's. Uh-huh, very mature, Elizabeth. You're not one of the kids at all. Stuck on our tongue. It's a go-to. Elizabeth snatched her bag of treats out of possible licking range and held it safely to her chest. Wiggling the tip of your tongue, you and Ma both started giggling at the whole exchange. Yeah, compared to that, I'm basically 30. After that, she left the kitchen and plopped down in your old spot on the couch. Your moms joined her, putting Elizabeth in the middle, Ma comfortingly patting Elizabeth's leg. The mom sandwich. The parent sandwich. Glancing back towards the kitchen, George and Nicholas were finely dressed, and they dashed ahead of you. They exit excitedly. Why am I reading it like that? They excitedly crowded around their mom's legs. No, don't forget that the bag actually has to be able to close for it to count. She began passing out baggies to the two youngest, and then Mrs. Suarez turned to you and winked. That's my one rule for the treat bags, but other than that, feel free to go crazy. Nicholas and George took that as their cue to rush up to the counter lined with tasty options and started stuffing their bags. Mrs. Suarez handed you and Derek your own plastic bags. Now that it was in your hand, now, why am I reading it in her voice? What am I doing? What am I doing? Angie. Now that it was in your hand, you realized that it was the smallest zip bag size. There was no way you were going to get a little bit of everything. From my experience, you can fit about 4 handfuls of stuff before it starts getting too tough to close. Isn't it nice having a future husband that isn't from a broken family? Yeah, pretty great. I already get along with the parents too, so I think I'm in good. I'll have to strategize then. Thanks. The younger boys swiftly finished selecting their road trip treats. George's bag closed easily, while Nicholas's was proving a challenge to squeeze shut. The plastic was ballooned out on the sides, entirely full of cookies and candy. Onion, welcome in. Welcome in, Pale Worm. Welcome in, Tarnished. Glad to have you guys here. It's not moving for me? What's not moving for you? Is anything lagging on the stream? Am I in trouble? I'm gonna go through a brief panic for a second. Not moving here either? What? What do you mean, not moving? Oh, not morning. Not morning. Oh my god, don't do this to me. Don't do this. The bad thing is that Momster wasn't even trying to gaslight me. She literally put "it's not morning" here, and I just misread it. Hello everyone, welcome in. I can't read. That's the message today. I seem to be having trouble. It's not morning for me. It's definitely not morning for me. But man, I am tired. I am dead tired today. Alright. I'm gonna continue reading and hopefully be able to actually read the words on the screen. His brow pinched as he struggled with the zip. To everyone's surprise, Nicholas got it to seal, and he proudly held the bag up for his mom's inspection. Impressed, she nodded. Don't forget to take a water bottle, too. We don't want to lose anyone to dehydration today. The 2 boys held their prizes tightly and grabbed the water bottles off the edge of the counter on their way out of the kitchen. It was your turn now at the buffet, and the spread was delicious. Let's see. Angie's having trouble with her reading skills. So it should be an interesting stream. Yep, the book club stream should definitely be a fascinating one. I can't read. How's that any different from every other day? Excuse you! Excuse you! You know what? I'm gonna start calling you by that title. I call my closest friend Pookie. I'm Pookie now? I'm Pookie now? Sure. You know what? I'll be anything you guys want. Well, within reason. Don't take advantage of that. Oh, reading problems? Nice. Last time that happened with someone that got banned. What? What do you mean they got banned? I'm gonna keep reading until I get banned. Can you become gamer progression? Because I need you right now? What? What? Are you trying to progress in a game? Are you not paying attention to me? Are you paying attention to something else? How could you? How could you? Oh, man. Hello, welcome in. No contact speculation only. I see. Alright, moving on. Ooh, we get to choose. What are we packing? What's our snacks? Perhaps? Careful, Tarnished. Careful. Is there cheese? I just realized you might have a little trouble seeing the last one. It's sandwich cookies is that last one. I'm looking over at the screen. That's a little cut off. I don't see cheese. Let's see. Chocolate cookies. Okay. Was that on here? Asteroids? Almonds. Got it. I was like, what? Asteroids? Space? Okay, we'll do almonds. Sunflower seeds. Cookies. I just read cookies all. All right, we got shortbread cookies and sandwich cookies, and that's it, apparently. That's all we can do. I thought it was chocolate chip cookies, not just chocolate chips. Ah, I see. Nope, it was just chocolate. It was just chocolate chips. What the hell are dried cranberries? Exactly what it says. They're dried cranberries. Dried fruit, but like cranberries, you know? Angie, are you edible? Well, I'm a fish, so yeah, obviously I'm edible. The human body I would not recommend eating, but the fish body can taste good. Anyways. My comments are going to be, is it edible? That's the fish brain. That's the fish logic. Is it edible? All right. Enjoy. Humming happily, you ran your hand across the side of the plastic baggie. You were grateful for your haul, and you proudly showed it to Derek. He gave you a thumbs up. Variety is the spice of life. Variety? We just have almonds and cookies. That's the variety. Oh. As edible as uranium gets. Have the jellyfish found you yet? Not yet, but I haven't been close to the sea in a little bit. Good luck finding me, they never will. Anyways. He closed his bag and you realized that it was completely full of a bunch of different things too. Chuckling, you gently poked the straining side of his plastic baggie. Yes, it is. Derek leaned across the counter for the water bottles. He slid one over for you to take and grabbed one for himself too. Okay, I'll close up the packs then. You can leave this out here for now. Wow, is that what my voice sounds like? Sorry, none of you can see this, but I decided to take my headphones off for a second. Because the music was kind of loud, so now I can hear myself. Now I can hear myself talk. And I just did, I was like, all right, time to try and do a deep voice, and I attempted that, and like, whew. You guys have been putting up with that? All right. The jellyfish just need to follow the light. No, the jellyfish don't need to go into the light. The jellyfish can stay down. Jellyfish hurt. Don't let him follow you. We don't have any more time to lose. Are we all ready? Several voices called back, answering yes. Mrs. Suarez raised an eyebrow and walked out of the kitchen. No one needs to go potty? No. I don't have to go potty. Good. Anyone have questions before we go? Sometimes I talk so little I forget what language I speak. Relatable? I love your voice. Aw, thank you. That means a lot. Also, they stung you in self-defense. I mean, yeah, I did kick it. I did kick the poor jellyfish on accident. I don't recommend kicking jellyfish, by the way. They have a pretty good self-defense, and it burns. She put her hands on her hips and glanced around the apartment. Mr. Suarez raised his hand just as he caught her eye. I'd like to know how we will arrange the rides. There's room for 5 in the back of our car, and room for 3 in the sky car. Seating arrangements. Do we get to plan this? Why is Mrs. Suarez so beautiful? I mean, like, she is beautiful, but have you seen Mr. Suarez? I'm just saying, I just like, if we're looking at the parents, you know, I'm just pointing some stuff out. I don't know what to say considering I fall asleep every time on your streams. Hey, that could be taken as I'm gonna choose to take that as a good thing, that my voice is so relaxing that you'd fall asleep, and also that these streams take place so late in your area. Isn't it like 1 in the morning, my man? Isn't it like super late for you? Sorry, I wasn't listening. All I heard was kick jellyfish. Don't do it! Don't kick the jellyfish! I repeat, don't do the jellyfish, okay? Don't do it. I think they're both beautiful. If only neither of them were taken, right? Right. Oh, but I keep saying that GB Patch should just, like, make a game where we just, like, could date the parents instead, you know? Like, that kind of game. I wouldn't mind seeing it. They're a cute couple. They are a cute couple. That is the downside to the parents being hot, is that they make a great couple. Josh, you are the jellyfish. Oh, right, I forgot about that. Josh is the jellyfish. Yep, she's definitely held at gunpoint. She never says such a thing. Are you insinuating that I, Angie Lumine, would tell you to kick a jellyfish, that I would tell you something like that? Is that what you are saying? Yes. That was fast. That was really fast. Usually there's a delay. There's a delay from the YouTube, like, from the YouTube comment or chat section to now. And that just happened in, like, seconds. What? Woman, you're saying they stung you like 3 minutes ago. I said, they stung me a few weeks ago. I kicked one and it stung me. I want to kick a jellyfish. Don't kick a jellyfish. It hurts. Don't kick it. Oh my god. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna go back to reading, okay? I'm gonna go back to what the stream is for. There is room to switch who is bringing who, if there's a want for it. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, Fuki. No problem. Elizabeth and Rainer, welcome to ride with us, or Derek can feel free to go with Pamela and Nolani. I can't say names today. What is happening? And George are staying in... Wow. Nicholas and George are staying in our van, though. I just completely ignored Nicholas as a character. Did you just now notice the kitty? Did you just now notice him? It's Oliver. It's my cat. Look at him. Isn't he precious? Look at his pointy face. Still no Subway servers. I'm sorry. I gotta get it set up, man. I gotta get it set up. Wow, you really don't take our feet back down. No, I don't take your feet back. That sounds horrible. What, are you cutting off your feet to hand it to me? I don't eat feet. I'm sorry. I don't eat them. It's a really bad part of the body to try and eat. Oh man, she hates ADHD people. What does that mean? Where did that come in? What? How are we gonna kick jellyfish without our feet, Angie? I'm not telling you to cut off your feet. That was suggested by chat. I said don't cut off your feet. Wow, is this microphone on? Is everyone reading what I'm saying as do it, not don't? Wow, she hates ADHD people. Subway Surfers. Subway Surfers was the thing of hating ADHD people. I see. Not playing Subway Surfers means no ADHD. I see. Okay, yeah, right. I'm connecting it now. Okay, it just took me a second. No wonder she hates me so much. I hate myself, man. That's what I've gathered from this stream. Oh, man. Oliver, are you in here? We were talking about you. He doesn't care. Okay. I can't get my cat to come in. Don't cut off your feet. Don't kick jellyfish. For God's sake, we can't do nothing. I mean, no one listens to me. Friendly fire. Yeah. Relatable also. The satire. Yeah. I need to put that by, like, everything I say. And some people are taking me too literal sometimes. I just need to put, like, this entire stream is satire, please. Please don't take me seriously. I want to hug Darren's parents so bad. Yeah, same. I want to hug them. Definitely want to hug them. Definitely want to. Nor can we eat plastic. No, you're not allowed to eat plastic. I'm sorry, guys. Is that your signature now? Is the hashtag Subway Surfer Rights as your signature now? Is that just here to stay? God, try to keep you humans alive and you keep wanting to kick jellyfish, eat plastic? God. Yes. I see it. I respect that. Okay. Where were we? What was I saying? What game are we playing? Frustrated, both smaller boys pouted at their exclusion. George's jaw clenched as he crossed his arms. I'm not a baby. Why do I gotta stay in the van? I'm not a baby. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Both of you are. I'm gonna commit to the bit now. All right. Respect that. Now this is... Now! This is the cute stream! This is the cute, wholesome stream. Stop making it about death! Subway Surfers win. I'm gonna do an entire Subway Surfer stream now. Just you wait. I'll just do a stream where I play, like, a bunch of mobile games. That'll go over well. It might, actually. I'm joking about it, but it might. Death is fun. No, it's not! You stop that! No! I need a spray bottle. Nicholas is a baby, and Grey Sound Nicholas's Night Fury is also a baby, like his human friend. Yeah, babies. You'll never beat my score, fish chat. I freaking lost it at fish chat. That's not nearly as funny as I keep making it. Hold on. Why did that take me out? I got 300 coins and 2 keys. I'm gonna admit something, okay? I'm gonna confess something. This is a safe space, right? I'm gonna confess something. I have never played Subway Surfers. I've never played it before. I've never done it. So I don't know. I don't know if I could beat your score. I picked Subway Surfers as, like, you know, the whole meme here of, oh, I gotta put that on. I've never actually played it before. It could be just a nice, fun game. I just put it as the distraction game. I have 2 million high score on Subway Surfers. It's like, you know, that could be really impressive. I don't actually know. I know nothing about Subway Surfers, honestly. Shock. That's still low? Yeah, I like I said, I have no idea. My internet died for 5 minutes. Oh, shame. Rest in peace. Now I'm back? I see. I think we're on the same page. Yeah. Which is a Subway Surfers, apparently. I've not played it either. Yeah, see, someone hasn't played it along with me. I play a lot of bad mobile games. Subway Surfers isn't one of them. I just never got around to it, I guess. I played Doodle Jump. I did a lot of Doodle Jump. Plot twist I haven't either. Oh, the plot thickens. And you were using the hashtag. Girls living in 963 BC. Excuse you! Are we back to this? Doodle Jump. Haven't heard that name in years. I know. I aged myself when I said it. Like, it came out of my mouth and I just, like, I felt the wrinkles start to form. My entire childhood was just cut the rope, really. Traitor. I still have that downloaded on my phone. Is it still around? Oh. I made a whole entire borrow for my, I see. Because my feet were cold. Yeah, my feet are cold, actually. I need, like, fuzzy socks. Or my cat. Oliver, where are you? He usually just starts attacking my feet during these streams. At least he's fuzzy. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go back to reading. Love the mobile game talk, though. Yeah, just keep discussing, like, the best mobile games, I guess, in chat. Nicholas, you know you still need a booster seat. We can't put that in their car. Mr. Suarez chuckled at Nicholas's angry grumbling as he passed by into the kitchen, aiming to pick up the remaining snacks. Mrs. Suarez sighed in a tickled, but still a long-suffering way. No, you need those to kick jellyfish. Kicky Jellyfish. Personally, I like the name Jellyfish. That sounds like a boss in some game. Like some sort of game. I don't know what kind, but it just sounds like a boss. Jellyfish. Or like the little grunts before you get to the boss. There's one game called Kick the Jellyfish. Is there really? I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. But Kick the Jellyfish, huh? Very painful experience. Would not recommend. Dad and I Dad and I need you there to stay awake for such a long drive. Can you two please keep us company on the car ride? Releasing a deep breath, George nodded. He knew this wasn't the day his mom was going to relent. Nicholas, on the other hand, continued to pout. No, there isn't. I see. Okay, Mom. Well, what do you think, Lonnie? Either way is fine by me. It's up to the kids to decide which they'd prefer. I'll stick with Mom's. She then curiously shifted her attention to you. The corner of your mouth pulled into a smirk because she knew that you and your friend were the ones that whole decision was for. Derek leaned in close to you, cupping a hand to the side of his mouth, so only you could hear him. Rain, what are you thinking? What are we doing? Who are we sitting by? Let's see. Darn, I wish I could speak Subway Surfers Fear the Jellyfish. We have 2 hashtags now. 3, actually. Kicking jellyfish is fun. I love the hashtag war going on now. There's another hashtag now. Yep. Alright, I will take a sip of tea. And you guys can decide if we are sitting, like where we're sitting. What's our seating arrangement? But if you don't get back to me, by the time I'm done, I will choose for you guys. Please, some child's gonna join and think we're going to scam him with the dads. Oh god. Kidnap Derek. Got it. I think sit by the jellyfish so we can kick him. I personally kicked the jellyfish out of the car, so not an option. Ride with the Suarezes? Oh, but we're kidnapping Derek, so we can't ride with the Suarezes. That would incriminate us more. Let's see. Derek should ride with us, I guess, is the closest we have. So we can conveniently kidnap him. Let's see. Your mom's reassuring nods gave you the confidence to find out what Derek thought about your bold statement. His skin seemed a shade pinker, but he scratched the back of his neck and beamed. Yeah, that'd be awesome. His delight faltered as Nicholas darted across the room to him. He silently stared with big, sad eyes. Sorry, Nico. We'll be back together at the boardwalk real soon, I promise. Third one, yep. Promise? Derek patted the top of his brother's head, and the boy sighed. There was still a sourness clinging to his expression, but he didn't seem as defeated anymore. Okay, now that that's settled, we'll see you there. Conveniently kidnapped Derek. Yeah, conveniently kidnapped Derek. And the hashtags grow. Oh, hold on, one last thing. Mrs. Suarez went over to your mom's and quickly went into some last-minute advice on the directions. While you waited, you noticed out of the corner of your eye that Mr. Suarez had moved on from nibbling at the snacks. Instead, you caught him passing George and Nicholas an extra cookie each. Genuine cheer came back to both of their expressions. They were so thrilled about the secret cookies that Nicholas's bitterness over the car ride and George's frustration over being babied were both sweetened out. That's cute. I love this guy. I love this guy so much. And that was that. Snacks and drinks were set. No one needed to go potty, and the rides were arranged. Directions were obtained, and it was finally time to get the trip started. Hello, welcome in. How are you doing today? Welcome to book club. The two families left the condo behind, chattering with eagerness for the day's activities. At the parking lot, the group split up to get into their different cars. The hashtag blob is growing. It clearly is. It clearly is. We started something there. This is going to be fun. Elizabeth automatically went to claim her usual seat, but you stopped her. She pouted but climbed back out and impatiently tapped her foot on the ground. Good, but I can't stay. Got things to do. Have fun, Angie. You have fun too. Glad you got to stop by. Have a good night. Or day. Or whatever time it is. Drink water. Take care of yourself. All that jazz. Alright, let's see here. I read this, right? Yeah, I read this. What? Did you forget we have company? On autopilot, Ma slid behind the steering wheel with ease, and Mom hopped into the front seat. It wasn't until they were buckled in that they both realized the back seat was oddly still empty. Every time I look over, there is another hashtag. Add the hashtag. There's so many. What? There's so many. Are you just collecting them now? The fish will take over. I agree with that one. I can agree with that one. All right. Yeah, I read that. What's the holdup? We have to decide the seats.
No worries.
Don't worry about that. The middle's calling my name. I'm the third wheel anyways. Chewing at your bottom lip, there wasn't any more time left to lose, so you didn't try to argue with him. Elizabeth happily climbed into the car and took her usual spot. And this worked out perfectly. Derek settled into his chosen spot and sat up perfectly straight. You climbed in after him, appreciative that you and your sister ended up in your usual places at opposite ends of the car. Are we all ready now? We're buckled. Roger that. We'll have you all free and having fun in no time. Thanks for letting me join for the ride. Aw, that's no trouble at all. We love to have you as a guest. The second Ma was done pulling the car out. A wide grin hooked her lips. Excitedly, she shimmied her shoulders as she drove. Oliver! My cat. I can hear him meowing downstairs. I can hear him calling. He's like, feed me, mother. Either that or he just wants attention. Help? Why are we asking for help now? What's happening? Oh my gosh, there's so many more hashtags. What? Feed the damn cat, Angie Lupine. I fed him already. He just wants more. Quick, Mom, stick to the plan. Make it to the highway. We have 5 minutes before they realize we're on our way out of the country. I'm already writing the ransom note. What just happened? What was that? Not you guys. Just had... I think the kids are playing and, something just hit my window. Jonathan... Angie, where's my lasagna? He doesn't get any. He's on a diet. No, he's not. My cat is skinny. It wouldn't hurt him to gain a few pounds, actually. He plays a lot, though. All right. Let's keep going. Where were we? Did I read this? No. I read about the destination recently, and it sounded just lovely. I'm so happy we're doing this. That's an underestimate. If I've ever heard one, Lonnie studied up on this place like it was her job. Mom teasingly twisted to deliver that last part to the three of you in the back directly. Giggling, Ma shrugged. Eat everything and everyone. Again, not sure I exactly recommend you eating your friends. It's like, you know, not recommended. Can you blame me? I don't want to miss anything. I understand that. There's just so much stuff to see and do, and it's all packed into that one place. Wow, that's impressive. It'll be a good day then. Can you guys hear them? My neighbors, they got louder. They're doing something out there. I think they're playing. Let's see. Feed a thine catfish, Chan. Thou art craving. Hold on. Hey, Oliver, do you want food? Oh my god, he actually responded to that. Nope, didn't hear him. I'm gonna keep streaming. I actually heard him. Cats need food. Oliver has spoken. He did. I wasn't expecting that. He's been ignoring me this whole time, and then I just heard that little, like, rah, downstairs. Purple hair, mommy, kinda. Yeah, it's kinda purple, huh? Well, I don't want any spoilers. I want to see what's there when we get there. All right, Elizabeth, I won't say a thing. Does anyone want music? Depends on whose turn it is to pick. How about we let Derek have a turn? Oh, that's nice of you, Mrs. Skye. Elizabeth gasped in surprise, and Derek awkwardly fiddled with his fingers in his lap. She childishly stuck her tongue out, but he wasn't bothered by her antics at all. Derek shrugged it off and thought hard about how he should answer. He wasn't going to squander this opportunity. Pressing his mouth into a hard line, Derek peeked over in your direction. You gave him a tiny wave, and he leaned closer, whispering like you two were having a team huddle. I'm not sure what call to make. What'd be good to do here? What are we doing? Pick your music, chat. What are we listening to? And I get a break and I get to drink something. Jazz, got it. Good choice. Cool, let's go with that. Hey, I thought this was Derek's choice, not Rain's. Sorry, Elizabeth, but I rule that it's allowed. Picking something for someone else is perfectly fine in my book. Darn, where's heavy metal? Not here, apparently. No one has taste, except jazz. Jazz is good. I like a lot of music. Fine. Elizabeth frowned. She shifted her focus to something out of the windows and pressed her back against the seat. Sorry about her. A tiny amused smile tugged at the corner of Derek's mouth, and then a laugh escaped him. He tried to hide it with the palm of his hand, but it was too late. No cheese. Followed by 20 million hashtags. I'm running out of space. I bet! Isn't there a character limit? Derek is wrapped around our finger. Tough Liz, get your own boy toy. That's right, Liz. She takes not getting her way just like George does. Nicholas would have started yelling by now. Before you could wonder if Elizabeth was even still listening, she rolled her eyes on cue, but surprisingly, she kept her lips sealed shut this time. Elizabeth then pulled out her baggie of snacks and popped a few cranberries into her mouth. She grabbed another handful to nibble at while you thought about your own baggie. Do we eat now or later? Just read my hashtag, Angie. Do you have a hashtag? Hold on. I don't. Oh wait, feed the damn cat, Angie Lumine. Feed him. Yep, now I see it. Feed Cack. I fed him already! He's eaten! Have some snacks? Gotta eat. It's not even a question, we gotta eat. Ooh, but we can eat everything or... that is the question. I need to cut my hashtag sadly. No! Hashtag gate! Unfortunate. YouTube is gating our hashtags. This is discrimination. Alright. Let's see. Save some? Okay, I guess. Okay. That's so hard to do. Saving things? I'm a fish, you know. I always eat everything at once. Alright. Decide to save some. All it took was one look and your stomach felt envious. You pulled your zip baggie out and decided to treat yourself to a handful too. You noticed that Derek didn't touch his zip bag of snacks at all. He continued to twiddle his fingers and sit quietly. The rest of the ride went by with your moms filling the time chatting about current events with Elizabeth, just staring out the window, and all the while the music played on. Both families pulled into the parking lot, and the kids excitedly bounced out of the cars. The parents cheerfully waved at each other as the groups closed the distance between them. Next to you, Derek braced for impact as his younger brother bolted straight ahead, aiming right for him. Over the moon to be reunited, Nicholas tightly wrapped himself around his big brother. Anyway, my hashtag was literally the start of Bohemian Rhapsody. I see. Is this the real life or is this just fantasy? I got you. Back to hashtags. Very important. Such tyranny. Definitely agree. Alright. Man, take your bets now how long this episode is going to take because we keep stopping. The average so far has been 3 hours per episode. But we've had that one. That took like 5 hours. And I won't forget it. Anyways. She's having trouble reading the story. You really think she can read the hashtags? I can't. I can't, man. I look at the wall of text and I'm like, something cat, something million, something, something. Anyways. I'm a true gamer. I see text and I'm like, where's the skip button? I've become what I hated. I don't truly feel that way. I don't truly feel that way. Read the story in your games. Please read the story. Please read dialogue in games. It's there for a reason. Oh. Alright. Did we read this already? Yes, we did. Hey, I missed you too.
Missed you?
Derek managed to untangle his sibling's limbs, enough so he could bend down and give Nicholas a hug. The 6-year-old eventually released his legs, in full so they could walk hand in hand back to their family. No, I deleted my hashtags. Oh no! Not the hashtags! Oh, reached the character limit. With everyone regrouped, the family strolled onto the boardwalk. Your eyes widened. The place was even more amazing than you'd imagined. It was like you stepped into a bright world of color. There were shops displaying various beach towels and boogie boards, decorated with either popular cartoon characters or tropical flowers. Clothing stalls had racks of sundresses, cover-ups, and swimwear in every pattern imaginable. Ahead, you could make out the colorful tufts of stuffed animals from the prize boards. Darts, ring toss, skee ball, and more waited further down the boardwalk. Music filled the air, but when you listened closely, you could make out so much more. There were various cheers and shouts of victory, joy, and fear. The screams had the screams had to be coming from the massive wooden roller coaster that towered beyond the stalls. From what you could tell already, the boardwalk was easily 5 times the scale of the entire shopping street in Sunset Bird. And we loved it. Obviously, we loved it. Boardwalks are fun. I love boardwalks. When I was on vacation, we went to a boardwalk and I was like super excited for it, and they had shut it down. So we couldn't actually go on. I was so upset. It was exhilarating taking the scope of the boardwalk in. You were going to implode if you didn't start exploring soon. The group began navigating down the wooden boards. Mrs. Suarez hastily grabbed onto Nicholas's arm for safekeeping, and just in time, too. The bustling mood of the area had Nicholas raring to go. He wanted to see, play, and explore every inch. I have some interesting memories of beach boardwalks. Ooh, if you're willing to share, go right ahead. Let's see. Still infinite characters allowed. Definitely agree. Add infinite characters. I'm sure that can't be abused at all. Rebuilding the hashtags. Very important. Unfortunately, the 4 parents were just not as energetic as the hyper 6-year-old. With an affectionate shake of her head, Mrs. Suarez struggled to hold onto Nicholas's tiny hand as he attempted to sprint ahead. Irene, why not let the children go? Huh? This child here and the rest of them, I'm sure they'd rather enjoy the park on their own and at their own pace. They'd be safe with each other. She carefully weighed the scenarios in her mind, while Nicholas was too busy trying to forcibly move her forward to notice the important conversation happening. Your mom shared a glance. I'd be alright with that as long as nobody left the boardwalk. It's large, but not too large. The kids are getting older, and they've earned a little freedom from our all-seeing eyes. Okay, adults and kids get to have their own day at the boardwalk. You caught both Elizabeth and Derek perking up. This was clearly a sign of a perfect day ahead for the two. And then Mrs. Suarez passed Nicholas off to her husband for a moment and motioned for the older kids to circle closer to her. No more treats for Nicholas. He's had enough candy and cookies for the day. I'm counting on you to keep to that. Mr. Suarez over there can't be trusted. No, the dads can never be trusted. Let's see, usual stuff, get to swim, get in the water, swim a little too far, get jumped by a blue whale, leaping at least 1 feet away from me, never touch the ocean again. Got it. The usual. Yeah, makes sense. Insert the whole B-movie script. We're getting larger. We're getting away with more. You gaslight? What? You gaslight Derek into thinking he was kidnapped. He is kidnapped. I didn't gaslight anyone. He is kidnapped. Oops. He stood up straighter and looked away from his wife, pretending that he had no idea what she was talking about. Her knowing smile cracked into a light-hearted laugh. You admired the way her eyes sparkled, teasing her husband. She moved her attention back to the rest of you, and both George and Elizabeth gave her confident nods. We've got this, Mom. Derek answered with an added thumbs up. Mrs. Suarez proudly beamed, letting her gaze go between her boys. Derek's right. We've got this. Oh, speaking of getting things, I have some money on hand for me and my brothers. Will you and Elizabeth be able to buy ride tickets and knickknacks or any of that sort of thing? I doubt the pocket change I have is going to be enough for anything. Are we broke? What are we doing? How much money do we have? How will people react if they see Night Furies at the fun fair? Shocked and surprised, I'm pretty sure. I think it'd be shocked and surprised. I imagine that Derek's Night Fury, going with Elmer and Graysand to the fun fair to have a fun time with his human friends. Yeah, I could see that. Broke. Alright, broke was first. We're broke. Do we at least have a nickel? Do we at least have a nickel? Do we even have that to our name? What? How broke are we? Nope, not even shoes. Got it. Frowned wordlessly. We can't even speak. I'm sorry, Okapi. They chose first. They said broke, so I was going with the first thing that was there. Elizabeth chuckled initially at your reaction, but she didn't mock you. We bought too many yachts. I see. It makes sense. The yachts were just so much. They're expensive nowadays, you know, in this economy. Wallet? What's that? Yeah, I'd never heard of it. Don't worry about that. We were gonna spend money on you two today anyways, so there's no harm if we let you have it. Besides, we don't get to go on trips like this every day. Go a little wild. Moms are the best. Alright, exactly. We want you to be able to do things here. Mom dug into her purse and then she pulled out a handful of bills. She carefully counted out $15 and handed it to Elizabeth. Your sister was unimpressed at that amount and recounted the bills herself. Mom handed you your own $15 next, and you quietly chuckled to yourself. You couldn't help but think about how it probably would have been a 20 if Mr. Holden was here. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. We're all set then. We'll meet again here at 8 p.m. in front of this first stall. Mrs. Suarez took her youngest's arm and crouched down to his level. She brushed some stray hairs out of his face. Yeah, parents always have money. Yeah! The bank of the parents will never close, right? That's the saying? Except for when it does. How quickly can I fall asleep speed run onto the pillow? Good luck! Good luck, Pale Worm. I look forward to you recounting your progress. Oh my gosh. More hashtags. Wow. All right. Go and stay with your brothers today. Be good for them. With an eager nod, Nicholas bolted over to Derek and clung onto his jeans. Derek laughed at the sudden weight and put his hands firmly on his younger brother's shoulders, just in case he decided to run off. The two sets of parents disappeared in the crowd, moving towards the nearby shops. Angie's reading will gently put you to sleep. Yeah, my calming voice. Did you guys hear that? My neighbor just, screamed outside. Huh, they're being loud. They're just having fun. It wasn't like a, horror scream or anything. It sounded like he was just having fun. Not again. Gasoline, I'm sorry, I meant gasoline. Scream back, assert dominance. I don't think they can hear me. I don't think they can hear me from inside. Not hearing screaming? Good. I'm gonna be listening back to the VOD later, do you hear anything? I guess I'll take this moment to be a YouTuber. Remember to like and subscribe, guys! And comment and stuff. Yay, YouTube announcement over. Alright. I'm gonna go back to reading what was intended with this story. Alright. Standing on your tiptoes, you caught your moms waving goodbye one last time before they were completely out of sight. Elizabeth spun in a circle, spotting all the things she might want to try. She must have deemed the boardwalk to be cool because she was cheerier by the second. Let's see. Damn, I am just building in Terraria. I destroyed a block and a small innocent bug jumped from it. I see. You were the one screaming. Or that guy was screaming more specifically. Makes sense. Justice for the bug. Eventually, her gaze returned to you and the Suarez brothers, and it was clear that her daydreams crashed back to reality. Next to her, George rocked up to his tiptoes and back down. 1 second. I need a drink. I need a drink of tea. Anyway, Tarnished. It was not my fault. It better not be. Because otherwise you're insinuating that you're playing a different game instead of paying attention to me. And you wouldn't do that, right? Because, you wouldn't just watch something else when I'm on screen, right? I mean, I just couldn't fathom that. Okay. Let's see. Tarnished again. Angie demands complete attention. It's true. I demand 100% of your attention constantly. It's why I'm a YouTuber. Oh, for sure, you got one. Okay. Had me panicked there for a second, man. Well, what I miss? Nothing, because you were here the whole time, right? Alright. Eventually her gaze returned to you and the Suarez brothers, and it was clear that her daydreams crashed back to reality. Next to her, George rocked up to his tiptoes and then back down. Catching your eye, he stomped and nervously inched a little bit closer to Derek. It must feel awkward for a little kid to have two new additions to what his usual special family affair. You offered him a smile, but tried not to stare at him. You were so eager to get going already, the clock was ticking, and you didn't want to miss a single activity. Derek awkwardly took a couple large steps forward. His strides were wobbly as Nicholas held onto him tighter, but Derek was ultimately unfazed. Okay, we should start the day right. The face painting stall is up here near the front.
Face painting!
Every time I see that face, every time I look into those eyes, it is the eyes of chaos. Chaos untold, staring back at me, ready to bring down destruction. I babysat multiple times before. I know how this works. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I was here and I heard everything. And I almost said something. Yeah, of course. You were here the entire time because you wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't do anything else when I'm on stream, right? It's just me here, right? Please have a bird and a fish that depends on me. Mercy, I'll spare you just for the fish alone. But you've been warned. Alright, anyways. George brightened with the notion, and Nicholas shook Derek as hard as he could without shaking himself off. Derek's grin widened as he laughed at his brother's delight. Busy making dinner? Try me and get zapped at your barrel? I wouldn't do that to my mods. Come on now. What's the flamingo and the whale? Are those your Oshi marks? Alright. Looking at this every time, like, have I read this yet? Yeah, let's go. Face painting? Are you serious? What, afraid to have fun, Elizabeth? Nicholas was too absorbed with thoughts of paint to notice her attitude, but George's joy vanished instantly. You could pinpoint the exact second Elizabeth remembered how much younger Derek's siblings were. Elizabeth uncrossed her arms, feeling a bit rotten. She cleared her throat and begrudgingly tried to pull back on her visible distaste. I don't need one. However, of course we can go over to that stall. Anyone who wants to do it should. That's great. Honestly, there's lots of time to do tons of things. So it's not a big deal if sometimes it isn't what you want to do, right? Pillworms, bird, and fish. Ah, I see. Never knew a fish anime girl could sound threatening. What do you mean you never knew a fish anime girl could sound threatening? I'm an anglerfish! It comes with the territory! Did you not read the description last time? I worked really hard on it. Come on, guys. I'm supposed to be like a horror thing. It's a whole thing. I'm supposed to be like a little scary. His green stare hardened. He directed the statement at both the youngest and the oldest member of the crew. Elizabeth snorted, displeased that a kid like Derek was acting like he was in charge. Fish equals Angie equals yummy equals plus yippee. I'm not sure if I should have told you guys that I taste good. You know, the fish part tastes good. Again, I don't recommend eating the human part. I think that goes against, like, your laws or something. I don't think that's right. Angry Lumine. Yeah. That's more like whining Lumine. Alright, there we are. But Derek wasn't in his respectful guest mode, which is what Elizabeth usually saw of him in the neighborhood. Derek was entirely in the eldest brother role. He kept a stern stare on her for another moment before shifting to you. Are you alright with letting my brothers get their faces painted? You can too if you wanna. It's actually a lot of fun. And did I tell you guys I taste good? Is what I woke up to. Elaboration is very much required. I think I said what I said. I think I said what I said. I'm a fish. Fish tastes good. What else do you need? I am a killer fish. I don't know what I am, but I taste very good. Fish killer. Face paint! Yeah! That's a way to segue the conversation. Face paint! Woo, face painting! Face painting, face painting! You threw both fists into the air as you cheered, and all three Suarez brothers beamed. Before anyone moved, Derek carefully removed Nicholas's hands from his pants and took a hold of the young boy's hand instead, like his mom had done before. Yes, queen. Please, that can be interpreted in many ways. I don't know what you're talking about. What ways could you be thinking? I'm only thinking the obvious way it means. Derek cheerfully pointed ahead with his free hand. Let's go. Derek led the way for your group. You followed his line of sight to the row of shops and spotted a large, colorful umbrella. Yeah, fish. Woo, seafood. Yeah, seafood's amazing. As you approached, you noticed 2 open chairs under the shade of that umbrella, one for the artist and the other for the person being painted. Next to it was a canvas posted with a collage of photos. The examples showed off cheeks dotted with daisies, sparkling gold stars shooting over temples, peace signs, and a whole rainbow of butterflies. Skulls and spiders were options for kids who wanted to get their faces painted and still look tough. Someone like Cove, you thought to yourself, chuckling. Of course, that was only a joke. You were positive Cove would actually get a fish or a shell or a dolphin or something like that. You peeked at the painting tools in the mirror and on the wheeled counter. The artist appeared to be a teen just out of high school, or perhaps maybe in college. Many of the stalls you passed had younger people running them. Fun fact. One of my best friends actually worked at a circus for a long time, and she and her mom were face painters. She talked about it a lot, and so like they would go to events all the time. Back then, like I was friends with her at this moment, but we would go to events and paint people's faces. I didn't. I don't have like that much artistic skill, but like we would go and I would direct people and ask them what they wanted beforehand and like tell the artists and stuff. It was fun. That was fun. Chat is going fast all of a sudden. Fish part is yummy. Yes. Human part. No, I would not recommend eating the human part. Yay, fish! Woo, seafood! Absolutely! Let's see. Cove is still alive in this timeline? Yes. Yes, he is. Do you not see him down here? Look at him staring at us, watching as we, cheat. Showed off cheeks for a moment. There I was like, please, that actually scared me. You may save yourself if you return now. Wait. Man, once I got face painting that did not go away easily. I had to go to the mall with my family with a red star on my face. Oh no. I remember one time, I think it was the last time I ever painted my face, I decided I wanted to look like my cat, so I got a full tiger face paint. And it did not come off the entire day. We went shopping afterwards. It was Mother's Day. And I had just this full face tiger face paint. Oh, good times. When you say a friend and she in the same phrase, I can't not think about Kesari. It was not Kesari. I do have other female friends. It was not Kesari. And other female friends that are artists, in fact. That's what we get for going to art school. No, we didn't. But actually, Space did go to art school. I did not. Alright. Moving on. The artist eyed your group carefully in return. Hello. Hi, welcome. I'm Xavier. Would you like me to paint your face today? Yes, please. Xavier went over and plopped down on one of the chairs. Derek nudged George towards the other. Do you want to go first? George hesitated and chewed at his bottom lip, but he wasn't sure until he realized that no one else moved to take the open seat. He seized the opportunity and sat down. What can I do for you? I want a football, right here. Without missing a beat, George pointed to his forehead. Elizabeth huffed quietly at the conversation, but Xavier gave a serious nod. I can do that, no problem. See, Angie was in a school of fish. It's true! I was in a school of fish, yeah! Fun fact, Xavier has a female light fury. I see. Also a face painter. How does a dragon paint faces? How does a dragon paint faces? I want to see this. I want video footage of this. Is it like that cute little dragon cartoon that I keep seeing in memes that dances around and is just carrying a paintbrush now? We always go first. It's our position by divine right. I see. How does a fish paint faces? Carefully. Oh. I mean, she has a night fury. Sorry, I got it wrong. I see. All right. The artist lightly brushed George's bangs aside and began to work. Next to you, Derek's brow furrowed intently as he studied the picture collage of options. What's up, Derek? But Derek continued to quietly mule over things. He pressed a hand to his chin and sighed. Nicholas will get what I get. I'm not sure what to get because of that. He doesn't like soccer as much as George likes football, so that's probably not the best choice. But I will not tell how she looks because I'm saving that for later. I see. One mistake and the poor fella's face comes off, I assume. That's right. Gotta be very, very careful with it. With teeth. Yes, you get it. Very, very carefully. I could get a car for obvious reasons, but Nicholas also really loves rainbows, and he does already have cars on his shirt. Let's see. What are we getting? What is he getting? You guys decide. What is Derek getting? And remember, Nicholas will also have this. I'm gonna drink more tea because, throat dry. Hashtag amazing. Hashtag what are you drinking? Lemon ginger tea. Spider, got it. Sorry, Okapi, you gotta be faster. All right. And that'll give him something to entertain himself. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Derek ran an absent-minded hand through his hair as he imagined all the ways his brother would terrorize those within his orbit. He laughed. I think Nico's gonna get a kick out of it. The corners of your lips curled mischievously. You rubbed your hands together. Excellent. George's football didn't take long to finish it all. He got up with a delighted grin and tried to tip his head enough to see the painting without a mirror. He couldn't, but that didn't put a damper on his fun. One of his hands hovered around the football, and you knew that he was fighting the urge to poke at the wet paint. Derek slid into the customer chair next. Nicholas leaned his hands on the edge of the seat and intensely watched the artist get to work. As the painting took shape, the smile on Nicholas's face grew until he was cackling. He finally figured it out. The artist proudly added the finishing texture, but then addressed the youngest Suarez instead. Xavier twirled their paintbrush. Now what do you think? It's awesome! Just what I like to hear. You're good to go then. Thank you. Derek took one last glance at himself in the mirror and hopped off the chair. He pointed at the open seat with his thumb. Throat dry means me die. It could, man, it could. All these tags are giving me a headache. It's a little hard to read. It's a little hard to read everyone's comments with the hashtags, I'll admit. Let the hashtags consume you. Join us. Oh no. What have we done? What have we done? Your turn next, Nico. Nicholas clambered onto the chair with a pinched brow. Once he got settled, he sat up tall like a big boy. Hello, what can I do for you today?
The spider!
Xavier's gaze instinctively went back to the piece they had just finished on Derek. They immediately put together what was happening. That's a great idea. Let's get started. Nicholas nodded and then put all of his mental energy into holding still. You weren't sure how long the 6-year-old could keep that up before he started to squirm. While it was fun to watch Nicholas, you knew that your focus was better spent deciding on what design you were actually getting. You were next, so you gave the canvas another look. You picked out the... What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Getting our face painted. What are we up? What's the order? I imagine that Xavier's Night Fury painting the faces of the other Night Furies. Yeah. Again, I want to know how the Night Furies are painting the faces. I want to see it. I want to see it being done. I'm on mobile, so I'm not giving myself a headache trying to do all the hashtag, but y'all have fun. Yep. Shooting star? Is that an option? I haven't actually looked at the thing. Peace sign, spider, skull, car, smiley face, sun, rainbow, shooting star. Got it. Tarnish was first, so we get the shooting star. Bane of Anthropoid. Perfect. The last one. Jeez. Got it. A skull. Got it. Unfortunately, none of that matters because we're picking a shooting star. Again, Xavier made quick work painting, and Nicholas was soon jumping out of his chair with a brand new spider adorning his cheek. You walked over and took his place in the chair.
Can I get one too?
Of course. The three brothers huddled together off to the side, proudly admiring and showing off each other's face paintings. Elizabeth crossed her arms, spotting you in the chair next. She had been quietly hanging around the stall, attempting not to be too impatient. You were the last one left to go. I can start when you're ready. Right, you shifted your attention away from your group and instead stared directly into the artist's face. You liked their pink hair. It was pulled back and tucked under the uniform hat, and from the distance you realized that their eyes were more purplish than the brown color they looked from far away. So what can I do for you? Could you paint me a shooting star? I could work with that. The artist dipped a clean brush into their starting color, and then they reached forward to begin drawing on your cheek. The paint felt cooler than you imagined. Trying not to move too much, the bristles lightly tickled as they glided across your skin. Stroke by stroke, Xavier started with the outer lines and then filled in the center of the drawing. And before you knew it, it was over. You eagerly checked yourself in the mirror and the counter and beamed. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You got up and rejoined the others. There was a delighted pep in your step as you pointed to the final result. Okay, who's honking at me? What do you guys want? Leave me alone! Okay. What's chat saying? Are we done with hashtags? I'm going to become Chuckles the Clown. Interesting. Interesting choices. Oh, we're not done with hashtags. Never mind. Name star. I'm going to become worse than the Joker. Oh, dear God. I mean, kid. No, not Chuckles. Please, not that clown is insane. Ah! I bet $100,000 that the Tarnished is going to get married with Lizzie. Ah, we're shipping. We're shipping now. We're shipping actual chatters with the characters in the story. Let's see. I'm going to commit several war crimes. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to ship Tarnished? This Tarnished? Right here? Chuckles over here? That's exactly why Satan banned wine from hell. What? Why is the jongleur here? Is he stupid or something? What? What's happening? Honk honk? I bet they're going to ship me with Cove. You're already shipping yourself with Cove. It's already happened. This isn't about Cove now. We're in an alternate universe. We're with Derek now. Cove is just watching us. I want Cove, though. We can share them. I'm sure Cove won't mind. Alright. Nice choice. Now that you and the Suarez brothers were happy with all of your face paintings, it was time to discover the next activity. Derek quickly paid for him and his brothers. You dug out some of your own money too, and then it was time to go.
Have a good day.
You too, Xavier. Your group gave one final round of thank yous to Xavier before moving on from the stall. The flow of the crowd brought you all drifting down the boardwalk. No war crimes. For now. Got it. Never mind, my building's safe. What's happening? You can't ship me, I'll be forever alone. Hey now, hold on. Is that like, you want to be forever alone? Or like, oh, you tagged it with depression. Maybe not. Maybe that's a don't want to be. I was gonna try to spin this positively, but maybe not. Disgusting, all these Cove Sims. How this place went downhill, I'll never know. Ah, the Cove haters have come back. Imagine no taste in people. Oh, we invited all of the Cove haters here. Oh, man, the Cove haters and the Cove defenders clashing again, just like old times. It's just my observation of me. Hey, you just gotta believe, man. You just gotta believe. Keep the positivity, you know? Alright. I'm not crying because I'm also forever alone. I'm not. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to this. I'm just gonna go back to my dating sim now. Let's see. Your group gave one final round of thank yous to Xavier before moving on from the stall. The flow of the crowd brought you all drifting down the boardwalk. As you traveled further in, you actually spotted your parents. The Suarez boys jumped and waved, and their dad did exactly the same thing across the way. Next to him, Mrs. Suarez tried hiding her ear-to-ear grin with her hands. Your moms had their heads close together, laughing at Mrs. Suarez's reaction. Let's see. Jump and shout. Let's follow them. Follow the example. Purple hair mommy, yeah! Become wretch. Backs to the depths of Tinder. Hey, now hold on. Bouncing in place, you yelled until your throat ached. You weren't sure if they could hear you over all the noise. Over here! Mom! They both reacted to the sound of your voice. Ma whistled as you jumped, and Mom waved joyously. At your side, Elizabeth huffed, embarrassed by everyone's behavior. Then your parents continued on their own adventure. Your group traveled further down the boardwalk. You browsed the long row of shops, pointed out all the interesting things on sale. As the afternoon stretched on, your gang continued to enjoy the boardwalk. I want to go back to a time when I could call someone mommy and not be weird. You know, I also want to go back to that time. Elizabeth took long strides and led the pack, cutting their way through the crowd. Everyone was willing to follow her. The Suarez brothers were giving her some leeway since it was her first time there, and you were used to your older sister's attitude. She was making a beeline to the roller coaster, the singular big kid ride of the boardwalk, and nothing was going to stand in her way. Keep up with Elizabeth. Actually, keep up with her in this case. I want to go ride the roller coaster. Imagine no taste in people. I do have to where I'm surrounded by Cove Sims. Man. You Cove. You Cove deniers. I have to be one right now because, you know, we're for Derek. But don't forget who started this game. Imagine if the MC's moms, Cove's parents, and Derek's parents have their own Night Furies. Everyone has a Night Fury now. Fluently said Joshua. Yep. Okay, let's see here. My throat is already drying up. How long has it been? An hour 30? I can do better than that. What's happening? You denied Cove so naturally as you breathe, Angie. That says enough about him. Only when we're cheating on him with others. Like Derek right now. Which, like, it's not cheating. We're in a different universe. It doesn't count. Okay, she acted like she didn't even see you. The only thing in her eyes was the tracks curving high above her heads. Nicholas had stopped holding on to Derek, instead flitting around on his own. Derek continued to keep a sharp eye on him. He occasionally pursed his lips, while Nicholas was on the cusp of wandering further away than safety allowed. You frequently craned your head around so you could watch the little boy as well. How will Cove's dad feel if he is riding a Night Fury? Probably excited, I imagine that's a pretty cool feeling. So you jumped universe to get away from Cove. Great job defending him. I'll defend him when we're back on the marriage DLC, okay? The man got rejected faster than a League player's dad leaving. What do you mean? Someone that entered on the stream 30 seconds ago would be like, by hearing that we're cheating on him in another universe, it's fine. You can't just casually pull off National Rip soap opera. Alright, I'm gonna go back to reading. He eventually started to lag, unable to keep up with Elizabeth's breakneck pace. Nicholas trotted at the end of the group, slowing his pace, falling behind, then bursting forward to catch back up. It happened on repeat. His eyelids drooped, and his head bopped forward. There was an expression of vacant determination on his face. It was a special kind of stubbornness, only the youngest people in society could muster. The type where the concept of stopping wasn't just ignored, it flat out didn't exist in their minds. Luckily for Nicholas, he had a more self-aware big brother who could set limits for him. Hey, let's sit down for a second. What? It's a long walk, especially if you've got small limbs. So you mean for you? That's right, I do need to take a break. Derek willingly accepted Elizabeth's shot at his stature. You could guess why pretty easily based on his leading tone. If Derek wanted to rest, Nicholas would want that too. Derek scanned the area and pointed out some tables in the distance. Elizabeth glanced at the path ahead once, but didn't argue about changing course. Swapped to a whole new reality to reject some middle schooler. He'll never recover. I mean, like, he already proposed to us and stuff. So, like, we were adults. And then we went back in time to a different reality. So we, like, never dated him. In fact, we said it so that, like, we never even became friends. See, it's totally different. Derek scanned the area and pointed out... Oh, no, we already read that. She picked an empty table that looked to be the cleanest of the section. Everyone took a seat, with a marked preference for sitting under the shaded half. You grabbed your water bottle and took a long and refreshing drink. It remained relatively cool on your tongue. Did you at least leave them cheese? You can't just rip open the meats and spades together with some... I mean, like, yeah, sure, I could leave cheese. That could happen, I guess. I don't really remember. It's a different timeline. But yeah, sure, maybe. Imagine the people from the fun fair giving fish to the Night Furies as gratitude for protection. Yeah, I could see that. That'd be cute. Derek hefted Nicholas up on his lap. His brother wiggled slightly until he found a comfortable position. Rain has the right idea. It's water time. Nicholas gave no audible response. His eyes were completely closed. However, he did accept the water Derek placed in his hands. He sipped it sluggishly. Unfortunately, Nicholas tipped the water bottle upwards until it started to spill. Oops. Derek snatched the bottle back and chuckled. Nicholas opened his eyes slightly, barely perturbed by getting splashed. He rubbed his wet face on Derek's shirt and stayed resting against his chest. Derek patted his head. You had to admit it was cute. Elizabeth and George drank their water too, side-eyeing the scene but not saying a word. Let's see. You should drink, Derek. Thanks, I will. He pulled out his bottle with a smile and began to hydrate. George finished his drink with a final chug. He inclined his head towards his two brothers. Nicholas is going to fall asleep. Elizabeth twisted the cap back on her bottle. She was ready to go. What now? Nicholas let out a small snuffly nose, a snore. Derek looked down at his clearly sleeping little brother, but it was no issue for Derek. He brushed it off as easily as Elizabeth's insult. It's cool. I'll find our parents and they can look after Nico while he naps. Imagine, bro, you turned into a storm at random. What? Hold on, what? Oh, man. Anyways, if we were at a boardwalk right now, what rides would you guys want to ride? Out of curiosity. Stomach. Got it. I see. What rides would you guys want to ride? Like, I guess it doesn't even have to be a boardwalk. It could be any fair or carnival or theme park. What rides do you guys like? I'm always one for roller coasters. I like them. Roller coasters are the best. Alright. Moving on. Where are we? What are we doing? What did I read? Right, I read this. Anything that can kill me. Ah, I see. Adrenaline junkie here. Mom and Dad won't mind taking him along since he's down for the count. They're probably sitting at one of those restaurants or browsing stores or something. Elizabeth nodded, glad that it wouldn't be her problem. George appeared more hesitant. Okay. He peeked at Elizabeth and then back to you. Derek smiled reassuringly and continued to pitch his plan. Plus, Elizabeth wanted to ride the roller coaster. I would have had to sit back with Nicholas anyway, since he's too short for it. What's the name of the giant wheel again? The Ferris wheel? Is that the one you like? One that doesn't make my head hurt. I see. I guess it depends on, like, how sick you get on rides and stuff if your head hurts. I know one of my friends, has huge ride anxiety and, like, can't ride any of them. Like, she'll get really sick. It just makes sense for you three to do that while I'm dropping off Nicholas. So go get that ride. I'll catch up later. George sighed. He was being left behind thanks to Nicholas, but was placated enough not to argue with his older brother. Alright. Are we accepting that plan? What do you guys think? Do you think we should go find your parents together, stay with Derek? Or do we just accept it and go on the roller coaster? Roller coasters are my favorite. I do love them, but, like, you know, we're also trying to get with Derek. Abandon the child. Roller coaster. Got it. Roller coaster. Okay. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Thank you, Derek. Derek did a double take, trying to figure out if she was serious. You gave him a subtle nod. From your interpretation, Elizabeth did mean her thank you. It was just her perpetual lukewarm tone that made it come across as sarcastic. Make sure Nicholas is too small to get on. Yep. He's way too small to get on. He's like a baby. Derek's mouth twitched into a grateful smile at your Elizabeth interpretation services. Can't read. Bye. He winked at you. See you soon. Then Derek shifted Nicholas around so the kid was firmly dozing off in his arms and hopped off from the bench. Nicholas didn't stir at all as he watched Derek shuffle away as speedily as he reasonably could, careful not to jostle his brother too much. They both disappeared into the hustle and bustle of the crowd. Nicholas really must be able to sleep anywhere. George frowned when he lost sight of his brothers. He snuck another nervous glance at Elizabeth. Your sister's arms were folded across her chest and her brows were pinched. While also typical for her, to George it probably appeared like she was incredibly annoyed. Ever just be stuck with someone like that, who just perpetually looks like they're angry, and you're just like sitting there awkwardly like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this. I've been in that situation too many times. One of my family members is like that. They just look forever annoyed. Really sweet guy, though. Alright. Let's see. We should comfort George. It's okay. She scares me, too. Make an angrier expression. I didn't see that in time. I don't know if that was an option. At your teasing, Elizabeth rolled her eyes. Really? George snorted at your unrepentant grin. He felt more at ease seeing you joke around with her. It seemed as though playing Elizabeth smoother over might become a regular gig. All right, since you two decided to stay with me, I have the responsibility to make sure neither of you get lost. Hear me out, Liz and George? I think she's a little too old for him? I don't know. How old is Liz supposed to be here? Is she 15? We're 13. I don't know if Liz is 1 year or 2 years older than us. Like 30. At our age, she'd be like 30. And George is like supposed to be like really young. Like he's way younger than us. So, BRB, have to take a shower. All right, take a nice shower. Don't end the stream till I get back. I'll try not to. Hear me out, Angie. And the random streetlight on the right. I see. Oh, never mind then. Yeah, I don't know how old George is supposed to be. Like, I don't know how big the age gap is. Quick, end stream! End it now! End it and start a new one. Really confuse the hell out of anyone. Like, no, we're on part 24, actually. Not part 23. Alright. She placed her hands on her hips and scowled mostly at George, but you weren't completely safe either. You better not run off. I am riding that roller coaster. Okay. I hear you. You felt her posturing was mostly for George's sake, but she had always enjoyed bossing you around. Good. With her authority recognized, she finally smiled, filled with a childish excitement that you rarely saw from her anymore. Elizabeth bounced on her feet. But I changed my mind. It's all right to run off. Just as long as it's the right way, move it. Hold on, I need to sip more tea. Just chat about something, okay? Chat about something, guys. Guys, I'm still here. I was just grabbing clothes. Oh crap, she's on to us. She's on to us, guys. How dare you all? No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Blame Josh. Everyone blame my mods. Space gets blamed too. She hasn't been here, but blame her anyway. And MZ, I guess? I forget MZ's a mod every now and then. Blame MZ. He's not here, but we'll send it to him later. Send it to them later. Just go ahead and just blame them. Okay? Blame them. Blame Josh. Blame Space. Blame all of them. Quick, no one move. Their vision is based on movements. trying to not move your way out of this. Oh, don't forget about MZ. MZ's asleep right now, but it's also their fault. All right. Let's get back to this. Now that I'm done blaming my mods. Let's see. Where is everyone? The only person I see is Angie? What? What do you mean I'm the only person you see? They're in the comments. Right? Everyone's in the comments. It's not just me, right? All right. I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm just gonna keep reading. Okay, let's see here. No, I read that. She rushed ahead, and both you and George had to go from 0 to 100 to catch up with her. After the initial burst of speed, she decreased the pace gradually. She may have been in a hurry, but didn't actually want to ditch you. It was a fun chase across the boardwalk. All of you were speed walking as fast as possible. Someone said their vision is based on movement. What? What do you mean? Everyone's here, right? I don't see anyone anymore. Am I alone again? All I can read is chat. You guys have to keep talking. It's the only way that I know that someone's here with me. Genuinely BRB. Alright, see ya. So this is how Trax feels. Alright. It was fun across the boardwalk. All of you were speed walking as fast as possible. Given Elizabeth's haste, you soon reached the line for the roller coaster. It was long enough that you had more than enough time to catch your breath. Elizabeth raised her hand over her eyes as she looked up, trying to see the high track of the roller coaster despite the sun's glare. She was thrilled. I'm gonna sit as close to the front as possible. Yeah. Oh? She was surprised at his sudden eagerness. She approved. Then you can sit by me. George smiled shyly and inspected the pavement below him. Let's see. I'm gonna throw my hands in the air. Good for you. I'm not gonna hold on tight either. You get it. The line plodded along, with families and various teenage friend groups, filing forward every time the roller coaster returned. I can't read. I'm so sorry for anyone that wanted me to actually read things decently. I can't read today. Not gonna happen. I'm gonna throw hands. I see. It was a test of patience in the heat of the summer afternoon. Still, there was a grand reward at the other side, and eventually the three of you reached the loading station. Elizabeth and George rushed towards the front of the car as soon as the roller coaster attendant gave them the nod. They managed to get seats only a couple rows from the top. You sat behind them and buckled in, like Nicholas in the booster seat. An attendant went through each person, verifying they were strapped in safely. The roller coaster passed inspection and was cleared to go. It slowly started pulling uphill, heightening your anticipation. Up and up and up, the car crept forward. You gripped your handlebar, bracing for what would come. It went over the crest, and then whooshed down the first hill. The wind rushed past you. It felt like falling. You tossed your hands up and laughed at the sheer joy of it. Screams filled the air, shrieks of joy, terror, and everything in between. The roller coaster curved around, went back up, and then down again, racing through several smaller hills and valleys. The wooden track jostled you around, so much it chattered your teeth in your head. You never knew what punch it would hit you with next. But too soon you felt the momentum slow, and your surroundings grew familiar. The coaster puttered to a stop back in the station. The safety bar was released, and your shaking hands lifted over your head. The skin of your face was tight and sensitive in the best way, tingling from the rush that ended only moments ago. Elizabeth discreetly watched George to make sure he didn't need help before standing up. The three of you followed the exit signs back to the boardwalk, energized expressions all around. George skipped beside you and Elizabeth. That was cool! Elizabeth nodded as she smoothed down her frizzled out hair. It wasn't bad. Her grin held more enthusiasm than you'd seen from her all week. It was awesome! Always love a roller coaster. Love roller coasters. Yeah, definitely. I thought you said shattered your teeth. I said shattered, right? It's just my accent. Don't make fun of me. Why are we fist fighting on the roller coaster? Are we what? Fist fighting on the roller coaster? Who's fist fighting on the roller coaster? First, the first person who moves must have a slow pacing life with Baxter? That's cruel, man. That's cruel. All right. Let's see. There had been so much whooshing, and you'd gone so fast. You could ride that again and again. As the adrenaline began to settle down, you realized that your group wasn't actually walking in any particular direction. Elizabeth paused and peered back and forth, raising herself to her tiptoes as she searched. No Derek. She narrowed her eyes with a sly smile, set off immediate alarm bells. Let's go get cotton candy. What? She coolly waved off his surprise. Well, Nicholas was the one who wasn't allowed any more traits rights. Do you see him anywhere, or even Mr. Responsibility? We can do what we want now, and I want cotton candy. But isn't that unfair? Life's not fair, kid. Besides, what they don't know won't kill them. Lol, Elizabeth. I mean, we throw hands and shatter teeth. Yeah, exactly. All right. George blinked at her in amazement. Her flat disregard of the implied rules was enough to blow his mind. You wondered how childhood had been for George growing up under Derek's rule-following example rather than, well, Elizabethness. Both of you might have been the second children of your families, but you had very different older siblings paving the path ahead of you. George seriously considered her proposal, clearly thinking it through. Quietly, as if not wanting his words to spread beyond this group, he spoke. Can I have some? Yeah, you can. Her expression turned devious, pleased at her corrupting ways. She tilted her head towards you. Dropkick little belly in suspicion. No, wait! Are we screwing over kids? All in. Oh my god. Rain? Yeah, we're having cotton candy. Elizabeth shrugged and walked over to the nearby stall. She selected a huge bag stuffed with 3 clouds of puffy pink cotton candy and paid for it out of her own pocket money. After she paid, she ripped open the bag and dug out the first cotton ball for George. He accepted it, his eyes still wide. She handed the next chunk. It was light as air in your fingers. A bit sticky and smelled sweetly vanilla'd. Elizabeth took her last one for herself. She started tearing out bite-sized tufts and placing them on her tongue. George happily took a large bite directly into his lump. You began eating yours as well. It was light, fluffy, and dissolved in your mouth. It's delicious. Elizabeth hummed in agreement, continuing to eat her treat. This worked out. For a time, everyone was content to enjoy the felonish treat in each other's company. Once again, we're breaking rules. Let's see, I drop-kicked the toddler in self-defense, sir, policeman. Oh no! His eyes are definitely not wide. Not fair, he has like the squinty Brock eyes going on. Brock from Pokemon. I have to go to sleep, but I will watch the rest of the stream on my TV. Have a good night. You have a good night too, Okapi. Sweet dreams, and a pleasant next day. Yeah, we read that. The last bite was eventually eaten, and it was time to wipe off pink-strained fingers. Elizabeth wadded up the empty plastic bag and tried to dunk it into a nearby trash can. The plastic immediately unfolded from its ball with a crinkle, and she missed. Your sister sighed, snatched it off the ground, and placed the sagging bag in the trash can directly. There was no signs left of the extra activity, and Derek hadn't returned to catch Elizabeth in the act. Where was he? You inspected the boardwalk for your friend's certain familiar form. Despite how much time had passed, he still wasn't back yet. We could try the roller coaster again. George shook his head definitively. We should wait for Derek. He's gotta be coming. Elizabeth sighed, but led the group closer to the sign posted across the front of the coaster. You didn't join the line, but stood just under the massive advertisement to make yourself easily noticeable. There's no way he's gonna miss us now. With that, you settled in to wait for Derek's return. The sky turned golden as the sun began to disappear under the horizon. You glanced out to the sea, and it looked as if the ocean was swallowing the day. Lights began to click on, and the already shiny buildings of the boardwalk were set aglow. In that waning light, the two boys with matching spider face paint emerged from the shadows. You'd found Derek in an unexpected carry-on. Wow, Barack Obama from Pokemon. Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking about. You know what that skull means? Danger. Morning, mister. I'm gonna go to sleep too. Bye. Bye. Have a nice night. Thank you for joining us, by the way, to everyone that has left. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a nice night. Love you lots. We're not ending the stream. Don't worry. I know that's my outro. We're not ending the stream. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. Beautiful words. Beautiful words. My cat is the best. Well, that stinks. Elizabeth ran a hand through her still frizzled hair as she stared at the snoozing Nicholas. George frowned, concerned. Derek spotted you in the group, all headed towards each other. You met in the middle near a restaurant with a mostly empty rack of rental bikes. Hey, everybody. He bashfully kicked at a pebble by his foot. He also chuckled and shrugged as if to say, yeah, the plan didn't work out. Sorry for taking so long. There was sort of a problem. Duh. Nicholas released a particularly loud snore. Where are Mom and Dad? George's arms were around his chest. Derek readjusted his grip sturdily, and you wondered how strong he was. It must have been getting difficult to hold Nicholas at this point. They're fine. It's just they promised to meet later is all. It's not like we've been abandoned. George let his hands hang loose at the sides, believing his brother. Before anyone could say anything else, Derek had a new idea to offer. I'm gonna hold Nicholas until it's time to go home. The rest of you can keep having fun. Go wherever you want. George uncomfortably pulled at his shirt, stretching the fabric at its seams. I don't want to go. I want to help. He visibly felt bad about all this being put on Derek. You got the impression that if George was a little bigger, that he'd offer to take a turn holding his baby brother instead. No, it's okay. It'll be fine. Let's see. Is it not what the wrench beside the name means? Everyone gets a night fury. Yep, true. Can't wait for it to be revealed that the parents forgot their kids when they left, and now the kids must join the fair to survive. Oh no, we're gonna be carnies. I'll call it my friend that was a carny for a little bit. I'll call her and ask how to survive. You really shouldn't waste all your time standing around with me. Plus, then who would help Elizabeth and Rain around the boardwalk? They haven't been here before. You know this place and can make sure that they don't get lost or don't miss any of the good parts. George turned to you and Elizabeth, but hesitated with his answer. It would help me to know we didn't send them off alone. They're our guests, right? Okay. Thanks, George. Derek leaned closer to Elizabeth and whispered, I don't want George to miss out on the boardwalk because of Nicholas, or because of me. Please go take him and have some fun. Elizabeth and Derek made eye contact, and for all you could figure, they had some sort of eldest sibling telepathy going on. That was the only way you could explain it, because rather than arguing, she agreed to work with Derek. I'll do it. Elizabeth then pressed her lips together and considered you. She snorted and then lightly flicked your nose. But I don't need Rain with me. George isn't a pain. Derek's brow creased, not expecting that. Yeah, we'll stay with Derek. We're gonna stay with Derek. We gotta split with him at some point. Let's see. Yes, join the fair. Yeah! Living as a carny. It happened to me once, but luckily it was on the door of my own home. That is lucky. They came back to get me a few minutes later. I see. Yes, perfect. Let the game become a survival game. That's right. Our life, the survival game. Rain. Derek's voice was strangled and hushed. You don't have to do that. What about you? Why does it have to be just you? You could have suggested we take turns watching Nicholas. Derek shook his head, and you felt your stubbornness spark. It's fine. Someone's gonna be here for Nicholas, and it's easiest if I do it, that's all. Well, now it's gonna be easiest if we do it together. George, show me something interesting. George gulped but nodded. His gaze bounced between Elizabeth and your standoff with Derek, and he wisely decided to take his leave. Yeah, that's probably the best. That's probably for the best. Detail, they only noticed that I was not in the car with them because I called them twice. On the first time, my mom told me to stop it without even looking in the backseat. Oh no. Oh no. He led Elizabeth away, passing by assorted stalls. He seemed to have an idea of where he was going, so you figured he and your sister would probably have a good time. Derek shifted his weight from foot to foot, bouncing around like the floor was on fire. It got more panicked the further away your sister and his brother got without you. Rain, you have to go. I found our parents. What? He kept babbling and hot-footedly hopping, both at a rapid pace. They rented bikes and were having a good time. I just couldn't ask them to take Nico. It's not your fault. It's all because of me, and you shouldn't have to miss out because of that. You have to go have fun. You were shocked to hear this revelation. He chose to keep Nicholas. But you shouldn't have been so surprised. Of course he didn't stop his parents from having fun. That was exactly what Derek would do. And that was what Derek was trying to do now with you. I'm still staying. When the other two were completely out of sight, Derek stopped his frantic movement, having spent all his excess nervous energy. You met his gaze head-on, staring at the friend who simply couldn't help himself from being helpful. His face changed into something tense and small. You wondered how many times he did this, took all the responsibility so that others didn't have to be bothered. It didn't seem like he was called out on it much. Slowly he smiled. His grin was tender enough to be genuine. Well then, if you're going to be here anyways, we don't have to make ourselves miserable. It's you and me, and well, Nicholas time. Yeah. Alrighty. He lifted Nicholas higher and stood tall, ready to take on the world. Then his knees buckled, and he blushed. Can we sit down somewhere? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. After spending all this time searching high and low while carrying around his brother the whole time, Derek needed a break. You both dragged yourselves to a nearby bench. It was thankfully empty and away from the crowd. Derek took a heavy seat and exhaled deeply. He kept Nicholas clutched close to his chest. It was a familiar motion, one that Derek must have done hundreds of times before. Well, at least it rendered me with a story to tell. Yeah! Brother, do you live in a Grand Theft Auto lobby or what? Oh, I hear an Oliver. I just heard that squeak. I don't know where he is, though. I heard him, but I can't find him. That means I'm in danger. Let's see. Oh wow, the parents really did abandon their kids. Just shows their parenting duties on to Derek. Yep. OBTW Brazil does not have access. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that was going down right after the Brazilian Miku trend, too. It's sad. Yeah, I don't usually post that much on Twitter. I just post, like, the Every now and then I'll reblog something thinking it's funny. Oh man, I just used a Tumblr term there. Hold on. Every now and then I'll retweet something because it's funny. And that's about it. Every now and then I'll just be like, yeah, I want this, and I'll post something just to be like, yeah, streaming's cool, and that's about it. I didn't use Twitter for much. I still don't use Twitter for much. Tumblr user. Don't call me out. Don't call me out like that. It was a phase, I swear. I don't still have it or anything. I still don't go on and scroll and search for things. Oh, man. Called myself out. Derek Carey. Yeah, Derek Carey. I heard that Tarnished, maybe they'll change it soon. I heard that they're trying to, like, work on it a bit. Like, Elon's trying to, like, make some sort of, like, deal, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to reading, I guess. I don't know how to segue, so. Alright, did we read this? No. Derek took a heavy seat and exhaled deeply. He kept Nicholas clutched. No, I did. IDK, Elon fired everyone on the Brazilian. Yeah, I heard that. I did hear that. I heard that they're, like, now trying to work out something, but, like, again, it's just rumors I'm hearing. I don't actually know. Let's see. Well, we have to be sweet to Derek. We have a crush on him. I admire how responsible you are. After you both had settled, Derek carefully reached into his pockets. He struggled to dig around to find out what he was searching for. Aha! He pulled out his special snack baggie in triumph. It was still completely full, untouched from this morning. Derek tried to pick out some morsels from the bag, but it was even harder to keep Nicholas from flopping over. Let me help. Derek flushed at your offer and became self-conscious over the fact that you noticed his difficulty. Thanks. I'm here now! Yay! Sorry it took so long. It wasn't long at all. And also, guess what? Oh yeah, the whole VPN thing. That was the crazy part. That was absolutely crazy. Oh. Despite his embarrassment, he passed the snacks to you. You took the bag, and he steadied his hold on Nicholas. Oh, I just need the granola chunks. You can leave the other stuff in there. Is that your favorite? Yeah, but no. You squinted at him in confusion. He laughed cheekily, having expected your reaction. It's my favorite snack in the bag, but it's not the reason I want it. The other stuff isn't for me. There's a handful of the cereal Nicholas secretly likes. That way he can have something that's not just candies and cookies. I brought the walnuts for George in case we were out for too long and he got hungry, and... He dropped his gaze from you shyly. The almonds are for you, you know, because maybe you'd get hungry. It's because we chose that first. We chose the almonds first and he picked almonds in his. Oh my god. I didn't know it would do that. That's cute. It takes the thing you picked first and makes it... That's adorable. Alright, moving on. Yeah, hashtag guy went to bed. So we haven't done the hashtag now. Where will I see my fine art now? Tumblr. Not that I know, but Tumblr. Let's see. Dang. You didn't notice the spiders yet? What spider? Oh, those spiders. The smiling spiders. I mean, I noticed them. I can't be scared of every spider. I'm here so we can continue the hashtag. Yeah, keep it up. That's 4 handfuls. Are we allowed to choose multiple options? Because, wow, that's so nice for you, but also think about yourself. Eat your own snacks. Enjoy your own snacks. Related, can you put a tarantula on Chibi Derek's cheek? Is that what you're asking? Ask Space. Space is the one you need to ask. BTW Tumblr user. What? Everyone's accusing me of being a Tumblr user? I don't know what you're talking about. Give the child a trauma. No. Beta arthropods. The spiders are cool. Yeah, they have little smiley faces. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What are we choosing? I don't know. There's some good answers here, actually. Let's see. Can't wait to download Tumblr every year. Just to vote on songs for Tumblr Hot Man. Do they still run those polls? Is that still something they do? No, now that I think about it, they did that recently, didn't they? That was like a whole thing. Let's see. It's nice of you, but you need to think of yourself. And what if you needed more for yourself? Did he not think of that? He'd be starving while holding on to extra snacks for everyone else. What had he actually eaten today? You narrowed your eyes and tried to think back to if he had anything. It's nothing. He tried to reassure you and brush off your concern. To him, it wasn't a big deal. Do you want any almonds? You can take it. You should eat it. It's your snack bag. I'm doing the thing where I only keep half my brain on while the other half rests. I see. You are becoming a fish. That is a very fish move. Just discovered that a famous VA from my childhood has dubbed some, I see. Hold on. Okay, no, I read that. Never mind. All right. I thought I had skipped a lot of things in chat, but nope, I didn't. I read that. All right, you should eat it. All right, you can hand it over. You chuckled and you fished out some granola and almonds. Derek held out his hand and you carefully dropped some snacks into his palm. Thanks. He popped out one of the tiny oat clusters into his mouth and started chewing. Let's see, we'll pull out our own snacks. You found your baggie and unzipped it. You started snacking along with Derek. Every so often, you'd pluck out some more granola from Derek's bag and pass it over between bites. Both of you leisurely enjoyed that time. The bench was comfortable, the food delicious, and the scenery was busy enough. There was always something to watch. The munching and high-pitched snoring served as the only sounds between you for a while. You passed Derek the last cluster of granola. You'd had to really try to get it out of the bag around all the cereal and walnut chunks. He accepted it with great enthusiasm, and then took his final bites. He swallowed satisfied. He absent-mindedly patted Nicholas's head. As he peered up and down the street, something caught his eye, and he lit up. You know what I was focused on before? I kind of forgot where we were. This is still the boardwalk. He was as excited as he had been towards the beginning of the day. I voted to eat his food. I'm sorry. I did ignore you. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. All right. I will be sure not to... Well, I'll try to watch for it at least. I won't make any promises, but I'll try to watch for it. Want to walk around? There's a lot of interesting stuff here, even if we're only looking. Yeah, that sounds nice. Derek gave you a thumbs up and then hummed at Nicholas. Can you help me move him to my back? That'll be easier for the long haul. You stood up to help. It took both of you fumbling around, but with effort, you were able to get the little boy comfortably on Derek's back. Then you left the bench behind to explore the bustling waterfront park. Without consciously deciding to, you gravitated to the edge of the path closest to the sea. You studied the beautiful ocean, your breath almost taken away by how the water sparkled under the last flickers of sunlight. The evening remained pleasantly warm despite the encroaching darkness. Your skin felt taut under your face paint. The paint had started to crack after its long exposure to the elements. Ooh, yeah. Face paint cracking never feels that good. To be honest, I hate that feeling. I'm cold. Do you have a blanket near you? Or socks. Socks also work. Is it normal for Nicholas to fall asleep like this? Oh, wait, that was me. Is it normal for Nicholas to fall asleep like this? Yeah, I'm still cold. Hat or blanket on your head is the next best option because, like, your hair, like, where your hair meets can kind of get, like, super cold. Like, the top of your head. It can get, like, really cold. It's like your feet and the top of your head get, like, the coldest. Usually. Face paint! Yeah, face paint! Bonfire. Bonfire is another solution, I guess. That is another solution. Kind of. Sometimes something is so exciting that Nicholas bounces off the walls just imagining it. By the time he actually gets there, he's already burned himself out. Arson. Hold on. I'm not promoting any crimes. I'm pretty sure Nico didn't sleep at all last night because he knew today was gonna be boardwalk day. Aw, that's cute. Derek grinned and pressed his cheek into Nico's. Let's see. Elizabeth might be a bad influence on George. Derek chuckled, unable to see it. Or maybe George will be a good influence on her. You never know. As you had seen how quickly George had given in to Elizabeth's offer of cotton candy, you thought you had a pretty good idea. Walking down the boardwalk was peaceful. The conversation was easy with the occasional giggle. Other groups of people passed by, couples, young friend groups, and families with children, all bustled about. You caught slivers of conversations, ranging from the mundane to philosophical. Arson. Yippee, fun. Nope, hold on. I do not recommend you commit arson on this shit. Oh my gosh, so much arson. No arson. We do not recommend arson. That will not solve your problems. In fact, I think that will only make it worse. Derek glanced at the faces around him and grinned to himself. It kind of feels like we're parents and this is our kid. He twisted around to show you Nicholas with amusement. What kind of comment can I make here? Next trip to the wedding chapel. I bet that would be fun. Nicholas could be the ring bearer. Would he stay awake for that? Maybe not. You both laughed at the absurdity. As he led you down the boardwalk, you noticed a new skip in his step. Hey, I have an idea. Let's ride the Ferris wheel. We've officially given up on getting our parents, and even Nico can do that. That's perfect, actually. It's nice and romantic. Nico's asleep. It's great. Satire. Always gotta put that little satire button. Derek let out a whoop and turned around like it was a little happy dance. You laughed, charmed by his enthusiasm. You're gonna wake Nicholas if you keep that up. Even if I did, we'd drag him to the wheel anyways. That'd rock him back to sleep. You smirked. Derek had an answer for everything. You both eagerly made your way through the crowd to get in line for the one ride that was an option for you. Derek cautiously weaved past people, making sure no one accidentally bumped into Nicholas on the way. The line was short and didn't take long for you to start boarding the ride. You piled into the cabin, and Derek placed Nicholas in the corner of the metal bench. He sat next to him. Nicholas snuffled when he was jostled, but didn't wake. Derek wrapped his arm around him to secure him from falling forward. Nicholas unconsciously leaned his head over to rest on him. You rested on the bench across from them, eye to eye with Derek. It felt sturdy under you. Arson is so cool. In Minecraft. This is satire, despite me saying that it is not. All of these little, just like, by the way, just gotta put this in for clarity's sake. I love it. Alright. Derek's grin widened and he tapped his toes together as he waited for the ride to start. And it did. The carriage car rocked forward. Slowly, you ascended into the sky. You could see the entire expanse of the boardwalk from the cabin. It was an amazing sight. From this height, the stalls and decorations looked like a magical land of toys. You glanced at Derek, curious if he was enjoying the view too. The sun had continued to sink as the Ferris wheel rose, and the light that reached inside the cabin through the little window was low. Sharp-edged shadows cut across Derek's body. He'd stopped shuffling his feet and switched to tapping his finger against the top of his knee in a jittery, uneven beat. With Nicholas still sound asleep, it felt like you were alone with Derek. In the small space, high in the air, with no one else around you, you made one more attempt to get Derek to be open with you. If he wouldn't do it now, then when would he? Hey, I still want to talk about what's been happening. You began to list your points of concern, and the whole thing sounded even more unreasonable when said in a single sentence. You got the face paint Nicholas wanted. You picked out snacks for other people. You gave up your own chance to have fun today so our parents could go on a bike ride. Why don't you do things for yourself? He shrunk under the accusation, like the walls were bending in on him. Well, it's not like I can't ever do things for me. I do sometimes. I went to the summer soiree instead of hanging out with my family. You weren't convinced, and spelled that out with the furrow of your brow and the tight line of your mouth. Derek acted the scolded child and hung his head in shame, but he felt compelled to fill the uncomfortable silence your reaction had left. It's easier for me to do things for other people than to try to fight for something just for me, and that makes everything easier for other people too. You almost spoke out in defense, to declare that he should stand up for what he needed, but you held it back. Derek was finally expressing himself, and you didn't want to interrupt. I made a Minecraft villager trade an iron farm. What? Chat, we should stop making these jokes because we might get Angie in trouble. I don't know how strict from 1 to North Korea the underwater government is. Underwater government is eat or be eaten. It's the YouTube government I fear. I don't fear much, but the YouTube government is terrifying. They're already getting me hard, man. I might have to, talk about that soon, but for now, I'm not gonna bring any of that in. One time I put so much TNT over a Minecraft villager that the game crashed. What are you doing? What can be done in Minecraft? I've never played Minecraft before. What is it that there's so many things apparently you can do that I am just now hearing? Derek is like Lee, conditioned to sacrifice his happiness for the joy of others. No wonder we're so drawn to him, easily manipulated and emotionally exploited. Oh no. Oh god. Poor Derek. Oh. He rambled on, trying to sort out his thoughts and arrange the words in a way that made sense to both you and himself. I like thinking about the people I love. I really, seriously, I do like doing stuff that makes them happy. I don't want to have to stop doing any of that. Derek tightened his hands into fists. His words were earnest, and he directed them straight towards you, with unwavering eye contact. I mean it, even though it's annoying sometimes. Annoying for me and whoever tries to stick with me. However, as true as it was, his resoluteness fizzled out almost immediately. Derek timidly sunk down in his seat. He brushed his little brother's bangs away from his closed eyes. It was a nervous momentary distraction. Nicholas offered him some emotional support just by being there. When Derek spoke again, it was in a tiny voice. But maybe part of me is sort of hoping that, instead of having to do more for myself and less for others, somebody would try to do things for me too, and then it'd be even. Derek shifted shyly. His head was still low, but his gaze shifted up to you. It's kind of like a dream, or something that I've got. And if I'm not doing that for anyone else, how am I gonna find someone who will do it for me? I can't ask for stuff that not even I'd want to give. Oh no. Derek has my philosophy. That's literally the thing that I tell people. That's literally, oh no wonder I like Derek so much. That's literally the thing I tell people. Okay, alright, let's see. I'm just gonna brush past that one. Your eyebrows shot up, but the rest of your body froze in place. Derek turned his face towards the window. It wasn't enough to cover the way his cheeks had reddened. My family cares about me, obviously, but a lot of the time, that's the thing I need help with. With a laugh, Derek liberally tousled the hair of his beloved pain in his side, who laid there. The youngest brother remained blissfully unaware of the trouble he caused. The humor in his tone left Derek as quickly as it had appeared. He couldn't get away from how serious the topic was, or how much it truly meant to him. It'd be cool to have someone who was on my side and who liked me because of me, not because they're family or supposed to love me. For a single instant, his eyes met yours, but then he instantly focused on the world outside, the scuffed, clouded window of the old Ferris wheel. You could see a lopsided grin reflected in the glass. Don't tell my bros, I imagine some pretty dumb things. Hey chat, real fast. Can you still see me, hear me, everything? Is chat still here? Cause I got like a weird notification all of a sudden. So I just want to make sure that you guys can still hear me. If you guys can just confirm that. I can, cool. Thank you. 2 a.m. Oh my god, go to sleep, man. Don't torture yourself. What's the notification? I got like a sign out notification on YouTube. So, I don't really know what that's about, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading, and we'll finish the stream when it finishes, and we're gonna find out what that means. YouTube heard me say something about them and said, now you don't have a channel. No, I don't want to. YouTube, be nice. Hopefully they will be. You do have that. It keeps them close. I see. Alright. You do have that. Come on, man. Thanks. The foggy face you could make out in the window pane trembled. He wasn't ready to show it directly, but you were glad that you still got a glimpse of it. He grasped the top of one knee and took it in a deep breath through his nose. When he exhaled, he carefully laid out a few more words for consideration. Hey, Rain, is there somebody that you think? Without thinking, you leaned towards him. You were hanging on his words like the cabin you were seated in was suspended from the wheel. But he never placed the last part. Never mind. Forget it. I mean, we can't let him let that go. Let's see. I think it's because I clipped you saying that the YouTube government is terrifying. Oh god, no! They're gonna be after me. Baxter, of course. I see. We don't, but we need the danger of a rival in front of him. Make him feel that he wants us more. I see. Always back on trying to make the boys yawn today, huh? Okay. You can ask for anything if you want. Don't worry about it, but thanks. You're great. It was just this idea I've been kicking around, but I should probably think about it a lot more. Besides, Derek shrugged an arm and cocked his head down to the extra bit of company who was still gently snoring. It's kind of awkward to talk about all this personal stuff with my baby brother right here, even if he is asleep. He chuckled good-naturedly, moving his hand to scratch behind his ear. I'm sorry, YouTube, I'll delete it. Oh my gosh. YouTube's watching, I guess. They're after us. We'll be good, YouTube. I promise we'll be good. Maybe I can try again later? The back of his foot knocked against the lower wall of the outcropping metal seat on repeat. It sounded the end of the conversation, but that didn't mean nothing else was on his mind. Derek was always considering something, and most of the time it was other people. Things someone else might have missed or forgotten weren't taken for granted by him. Thanks for helping with the snacks before. That piece of appreciation was given easily. The next, though, was far meeker. And thanks for coming with me. Aww. Let's see. Anytime, Derek. This time, Derek shared his bright and bashful face directly with you. You could always count on him. That was a certainty, and Derek knew that the sentiment was mutual. You could look out for him whether he did it for himself or not, whether he asked you to or not, and whether he wanted you to or not. That was just as sure. Not much more was said, because the ride came to its steady, inevitable end. You disembarked from the cabin with Nicholas securely in Derek's arms. He strolled from the exit to the nearest stall to ask the employee what time it was. 8 p.m. was quickly approaching. We better go to the meetup place. Can you help me get Nico on my back again? Oh, we can carry him now. Huh, should we do that? Guys, I think there are cops on my door. What? What did you do, Tarnished? What have you done? I want these romances dramatic and bloody. I see. That's exactly how I like my romances, too. Josh, violent romance. Yeah! Sea creatures, man. We're all about violence. Share the load? Got it. Oh. Instinctively, Derek pulled back. He clung tighter to his youngest brother, keeping the weight of that burden squarely on himself. You waited, calm and stable. Ultimately, the tension on his face and the hesitancy in his heart faded, and he accepted your offer graciously. That'd actually be great. Thanks, Rain. Derek shifted his grip on Nicholas before he propped the smaller boy over your shoulders. You tucked your elbows around Nico's knees and hunched over so he wouldn't slip off. Nicholas draped heavily on your back like a fluffy, car-patterned cape. He really wasn't that heavy, but you could easily imagine how carrying that extra load could get tiresome after a while. Derek definitely needed a break. Perfect. Together, you wandered across the path. The people surrounding you were full of enthusiasm, bustling from ride to ride and store to store, but a quiet peace had settled between you and Derek. Your day at the boardwalk was already coming to an end. The sky had gone completely dark by the time you reached the meeting spot, but the world around you was still awash with light. Street lamps bore down on you, while spotlight shot upwards to illuminate the biggest rides. You and Derek huddled at the side of the path. You wanted to stay out of the way of other visitors who were trickling off to the parking lot, and the ones who were rushing the opposite ways for the last-minute excursion on the boardwalk. You hoped the strangers enjoyed themselves, but for you and Derek, plus the sleeping Nicholas, there was nowhere to go. At least, not until you caught sight of your currently missing family members. We beat them. I'm not surprised. You used the brakes as an opportunity to readjust Nicholas. He'd started to slide a bit during the trip over. Where are the parents? They're coming. I gotta say, trying to stay up has proven difficult the longer you use that voice of yours. Am I relaxing you to sleep? My reading voice? She does have a relaxing voice unless she's having a meltdown. True. That's what I've been told, at least. Sometimes. Sometimes it's just that my voice is obnoxious. That's why book club is nice. She has fewer meltdowns. Yes, fewer. I still have them, but they are fewer meltdowns. Since there were only 2 awake members of your group, you both wordlessly kept your eyes peeled. Every figure approaching in the distance was scrutinized and then disregarded as just another stranger. That process repeated for a few minutes, but eventually 2 shadowed forms coming down the path stepped under a light, and you immediately recognized them.
George, Elizabeth.
Derek jumped and waved his hands over his head. He was entirely free to draw attention to himself that way thanks to you taking over piggybacking Nicholas. Even on the other side of the boardwalk, you could tell Elizabeth was smirking. When Derek's brother and your sister rejoined you in front of the first stall, you were proven right. She definitely had a leering smirk.
It's very cute that you're taking a turn with the precious baby.
Wait, she has a little thing on her head now. She got face paint. Great timing. Now make a scene and yell at them for making Derek do their jobs. This will secure Derek to love us more than his parents. Great first step. That's right. Guilt tripping the parents. Perfect first move. Ha! Derek barked out a laugh. Elizabeth's smile wasn't the only noticeable thing on her face, and even Derek wasn't polite enough to let her get away with it. Maybe, but what is that on your forehead? The oldest kid hadn't returned exactly the same way you'd left her. She now had a bright white golf ball emblazed on her skin with a non-toxic water-soluble paint. I like your new look. After just a small huff, Elizabeth plainly laid out her case.
George and I talked about what little sports we liked. When I told him I did golf, he suggested I get face paint of that. I did it, and it was fun.
Her chin was high, and she spoke with defiance. Elizabeth absolutely refused to be embarrassed by her change of mind. George stood at your sister's side and proudly took credit for the accomplishment. She didn't want to do it because she was just being an Elizabeth. Huh?
Better than being a bore, George.
That's so stupid. It's so stupid. Josh is encouraging a meltdown. Clearly. Must resist the voices. Or voice, even. I'm alive now. Good, I'm being alive. Geez, these 2 have a report now, huh? Yeah! They had a whole bonding arc while we were away. George and Elizabeth chuckled at the quips. Apparently, they had unique nicknames for one another now. It left Derek nearly speechless. Wow. Clearly, you and Derek weren't the only ones who went through a bonding experience this evening. That's so cute, Elizabeth. I love that.
I'm sorry, what? I can't hear the last word. I can't hear that last word you said. Wow, I can't speak.
I can't hear that last word when you say it. There we go. How convenient. Light-hearted laughter drifted around the group. Whether you were divided up or all together, the Suarez and the Sky Kids enjoyed each other's company. Your sister then exhaled calmly and followed it with a sage nod. I'll take Nicholas now. Oh. Whether Derek was going to agree or disagree with the offer you didn't know, but Elizabeth didn't give him the chance. She wasn't suggesting what she thought she was. We've got like 10 or 15 minutes left. The 2 of you should use it. What? You want us to leave him with you? Uh-huh. Derek took a hesitant step back and turned his face away. His expression tensed the same way it had when he first realized Nico was going to be asleep for the rest of the trip. Nicholas is going to be mad that I'm not here. The resistance was a weak mumble. His middle brother spoke with much more boldness. Nicholas isn't going to know, and what he doesn't know won't kill him. George! Derek was at a loss on where that had come from. He had missed Elizabeth's little life lesson from her earlier. Derek, let's go for it. See? Even your darling Rain wants
want you to stop being such a goody two-shoes for a single second. Go have fun for Pete's sake. Yeah, hurry, you gotta do stuff at the boardwalk while we're at the boardwalk. He shyly scuffed his sneaker on the ground with a doe-eyed expression that was more excited from Nicholas. That was more expected from Nicholas. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. It was exceedingly rare for anyone to tell Derek what the plan was. He was used to coming up with all the ideas and taking charge. Derek glanced at you. It was impossible not to smile at him. All right, I'll do it. Me too. Finally. There was a quick passing off the buck as Elizabeth took Nicholas into her hands. She carefully positioned his head against her shoulder and cradled his legs under her forearms. Derek found the hold satisfactory and entrusted his younger brother to her the same way he'd let her borrow the responsibility watching out for George. Hold on, I need a drink. I need a drink of water. The only thing keeping me alive is the sheer amount of out-of-context clips I could be farming. You really could. You really could. God, I need a clips channel. All right. No more time was wasted. You shot off down the boardwalk one more time. The flow of traffic had shifted even— Oh, well, yeah, Oliver! Hey! You jumped straight in front of me. I can't see my tablet. Hey, Oliver! Oh, Oliver! Well, ladies and gentlemen, my cat has arrived. No wonder you're so bad at reading. The process kills you. Clearly, Oliver's stream now. Yes, Oliver's stream. 1 second. I gotta adjust this. There we go. Lore accurate representation of what's happening right now. Is my phone edible? We'll find out. I don't think it is, but you know, we could try. As long as it's not plastic. Oh, man. Anyway, here it is. This is what's happening to me right now. I'm gonna attempt to read. The flow of traffic had shifted even more from where you'd started waiting. With everyone except for you moving towards the exit, you pushed against the tide into the heart of the pack. Let's sprinted hand in hand, obviously. Okay, casually takes a whole bite of the phone. Does that hurt? I know what I said, but I'm not sure if it's recommended. The two of you had reached the other on instinct in the heat of the chase, neither wanting to be separated in the crowd and both yearning to be as close as possible. Your feet and heart were beating hard. Derek shouted over the sound in a breathless, thrilled voice. The lines are all going to be short this late, but I don't think we can do two. Which do you want to go on? Or we don't have to go on a ride at all. What are we going on, guys? Let's choose. Are we going on the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster? What are we doing? Oh, we can also have a treat. What are we doing? You leaving me? You leaving me, bud? Hun? You leaving me? Oh, not you, Peltworm. You're going to bed? All right, you have fun. I'm talking about my cat. Ferris wheel? Okay, Ferris wheel. I think that'd be a fitting way to end the day. Even through heavy breaths, he spoke sweetly. It was more thrilling than any roller coaster would have been. You and Derek sped straight to your goal. You tilted your head back every so often at the towering Ferris wheel, as the towering Ferris wheel got closer as you ran towards it. As Derek had theorized, the line wasn't even half the length it was for most of the day. It only took a few minutes before you were on the platform and awaiting your ride. You hopped into the next private carriage that wound by the circle and took a seat on the hard bench. This time, Derek didn't have the spot opposite to you. Instead, he nestled in the same bench. His fingers curled around the edge, and he leaned forward to look out the window. He couldn't face you directly. That was okay, though. You didn't really want him to see the way you were watching him. And then you were slowly lifted into the sky once more. It was a peaceful ride, with few words shared. Derek's mood had turned contemplative, with you being alone together in the dark cabin. But he was absolutely beaming when you returned to solid ground and left the ride. Derek stared at the sparkling stars beyond the glitz and clamor of the boardwalk. There was a peace between you that hadn't been there at any other moment during your trip. Hey. His eyes had stolen the shine from the cosmos when he placed his gaze back on you. It was way too awkward to talk about this before with my little brother right there, but I just want to say I really like hanging out with you, Rain. I love my brothers and my parents a ton, and my friends are great too, but when I have to pick someone to team up with, I think about you. He shrugged his shoulders with a shy grin. Derek was someone you could count on for honesty, but sometimes it still surprised you what he was capable of. I think of you too. Oh, cool. There was no haste or worry of separation, but Derek's hand still found its way around yours. You threaded your fingers together with his. The soft touch squeezed at your heart even more than your hand. Getting the chance to spend some time with truly just the two of you was more than you could have hoped for. You owed Elizabeth one. Despite taking an entire extra jaunt around the boardwalk, you still arrived at the entrance before your parents. However, there had been a shift in the group. Nicholas was awake. As soon as Derek noticed the small third figure standing by Elizabeth and George, he started like he was hit by a bolt. You felt him squeeze his fingers around your hand, and his stunned state. He made a break for his siblings, bringing you along with him. The motion was not exactly subtle, and it caught the attention of the boy in question. He let out a shout when he saw your rapid approach. Well, technically, it wasn't your arrival that had an impact. Called it. Nicholas sprinted away from the meeting spot, not willing to wait a single second for the reunion. He crashed into Derek, wrapping his arms around his brother's thighs and sticking his head into the space between Derek's legs. Oof. It was painful enough to knock Derek off balance. He had to release your hand so he could swing his arms out to the side to stop his wobbling. Once he was sure he wasn't going to topple over, Derek bent down and scooped up his hanger-on. Seeing Derek carrying Nicholas felt extremely familiar by this point, considering that had been the case for the entire afternoon, but Derek wasn't sick of it yet. He could handle it for a little longer. Derek nudged his head towards the other two members of your party, encouraging you to come. Let's see, Solo 1 on one time gives uninterrupted time to break him emotionally, except we didn't get that time. It skipped it for us. No sleep for me, I'll eventually pass out. Oh no. Go to sleep. Now hit him with the friend zone. No! Good. Make Derek slowly resent the youngest sibling. Wait. Alright, well, Oliver decided to move, so I guess I now have to, put him back on my head. Here we are. I'll make it a little lower. Yeah. There he is, resting on top of me. Alright. He's still with us. He's just, my backpack is lying on the floor, and he decided to just sleep across my backpack, so that's where he is now. Not the cat bed I bought him. The backpack. Derek nudged his head towards the other two members of the party, encouraging you to come. Together, you and Derek walked the rest of the way to the boardwalk entrance, while Nicholas clung to Derek the whole way. George waved you over. Welcome back. Hey. And the moment you were in whispering distance, you were greeted by a hushed message from your own big sibling. Good work. She put a finger to her cheek and smirked suggestively. It confused you for a second before you realized she had seen you holding hands even from a distance. Derek slowly kneeled to let Nicholas get down. The little boy stood on his own 2 feet, but his 2 hands didn't detach. They only grasped the hem of Derek's jersey instead. While brushing his brother's messy hair, Derek glanced up at Nico's temporary babysitters. He stared at them questioningly. What happened was the obvious unspoken question. He's only been up for a few minutes. And he was really grumpy at first because you weren't there. But we got him talking about the dream adventure he had when he was sleeping to keep him busy, and that worked. It was really funny, and Nico had a good time. George beamed with pride at the success, and you noticed how much closer he stood to Elizabeth. Your sister accepted his company just as welcomingly. They were their own partners in crime for the day. I'm basically positive that after about 5 seconds, he stopped telling us his actual dreams and was making it all up, but it was cute. Derek blinked at the two as if he had witnessed a miracle. It kind of was in a small way. He was able to pass the mantle of responsibility, and everything turned out fine. However, Elizabeth and George wouldn't be replacing Derek anytime soon, or likely ever. Nicholas may have behaved for a bit, but now that his biggest brother was here, the young lad wanted to be taken care of. His gaze dropped to the ground, and he pulled at the end of Derek's shirt. Derek, my tummy hurts. I want ice cream. No ice cream, Nico. That's not going to help your stomach. But you can have some of my snacks. I saved you part of it. Derek's tone really sold the idea. It was full of appeal, the fact that it was his snacks. He could hype up the product better than any of the employees running games on the boardwalk. Nicholas brightened immediately. He clasped his own collar and leaned his head all the way back to look up at his brother's face, from where he stood against Derek's legs. He wasn't kept waiting long. Derek pulled the baggie out of his pocket and shifted through the mix of walnuts and cereal to pick the treat especially for Nico. Once he collected a small handful, he passed it over to Nicholas, carefully dropping the round cereal puffs one by one. In Nicholas's tiny palm, the amount was almost overflowing. Did we all disappear? Nah, chat's just winding down a bit. They're all still here. Nicholas gratefully received the offering. He shoved the whole thing into his face and ate directly out of his hand. It reminded you of feeding oats to a pony, except in this case, Nicholas was both the feeder and the fed. Derek nodded in satisfaction and rolled the bag over in his palm. George, these are for you. He gathered the last wayward pieces of cereal and then offered the well-worn bag of nothing but walnuts to the middle child. It's been a really long day and there's still the ride back. You should eat something. George didn't argue with that. He gladly accepted his brother's thoughtful gesture. Thanks. George plucked out just one from the pack, the hardiest-looking nut in the bunch, and took a bite out of it. His gaze shifted towards Elizabeth, or Elizabeth, as George knew her. As he swallowed his snack, he then asked a question. Do you want any? You know what? I would. Thanks. Elizabeth was the third person who took a turn of opening up a hand to receive a snack. George shook a few of the nuts into her awaiting palm. Derek, you and Rain can have some too. Yeah, trying to do something hard. I see. Darn, as long as Nicholas is here, has him twisted around his finger, will always be second. It's true. Will always come second. I might have destroyed everything in the process. Aw, man. Too bad. You just have to pay attention to me. Nicholas's fingers remained pushed against his mouth, but his distinct chomping stopped. He spoke muffled words filtered through a handful of half-crushed cereal. I can share too. He stuck his sticky palms up towards Derek's face instead of his own. The gesture had crumbs cascading down his shirt. Nico couldn't reach high enough to get it all the way to his brother's mouth. Derek shook with giggles and poked Nicholas's wrist to nudge the pile of soggy cereal away. He had to take a second to breathe before he could explain himself. I've got some of the cereal right here. That'll be from you. Thanks, Nicholas. I'm going to eat it. That logic seemed sound to Nicholas, or maybe just seeing his brother smile made Nicholas smile too. Either way, he accepted that not taking more of the cereal counted as him sharing it. I wish I could take care of Nicholas, not even for the money or anything like that. Just to give Derek a chance to have some time for himself. Yeah, definitely agreed. Haven't babysat in a long time, but I can take a crack at it again.
But he wasn't done. Nicholas turned around on a dime, arms still outstretched, and positioned his hand towards you. Amazingly, he wanted to share some with someone other than Derek. You kiddos are all way too nice. Let's see. Cooed at his sweetness. You knew he was trying to be nice. That was adorable. But Nicholas could start flinging bits of cereal at you in his eagerness to share. A warm voice boomed above the din of the busy boardwalk.
Good evening, family and friends.
It was Mr. Suraz. Why can't I say the name now? I was saying it fine earlier.
Maybe I judged myself too quickly about the fish thing. Yeah?
You spotted, and not only him, you spotted all 4 parents weaving their way through the crowd.
The deadbeats!
We're here. The sight of his mommy and daddy made Nicholas forget all about feeding you his pre-chewed snacks. He smashed the remaining cereal into his mouth so he could use both hands to wave at his parents. Dad! Mom! Derek called back with equal excitement. The parents picked up the pace and came to gather around the children. Greetings were shared between adults and kids. Immediately, Ma noted the face paint that was now adorning your group. You all look wonderful, so creative. Nicholas forced himself to swallow the mouthful. That was the moment he'd been waiting for. He sucked in a huge breath, pointed at his cheek, and screeched. Ah, it's a spider! It's a spider!
Oh no, you're right, it's a spider!
My goodness, it's terrifying.
Don't make any quick movements, kiddo. It'll bite you. Yes, wait here. I will help you, son.
Mr. Suarez gave Nicholas' chubby cheek a pinch to get rid of the dangerous arachnid. He retreated his hand in shock when he realized, in fact, it was only paint.
Yippee, purple hair mom is back. Yeah! And the other mommy with the stare and weird smile. Hey now! Don't insult our moms like that!
Nicholas snickered gleefully at the hubbub among the grown-ups. His mission accomplished. Mrs. Suarez then clasped her hands together and changed the topic. Well, everyone, I'm sorry you beat us here. Hopefully you weren't waiting too long. Nah, it was fine. I appreciate you waiting here for us. We went on a very lovely bike ride across the boardwalk. Really? You were out there paddling around on bikes? Mm-hmm. Elizabeth and George's faces of genuine surprise at the news helped to distract from the awkward, knowing glances you shared with Derek. Returning them was a real hassle. That's why we got here late. Definitely worth it, though.
It was. And did you children have a good day?
Nicholas threw his hands in the air to answer it with full force. Yeah! Derek softly patted his littlest brother's head. His voice was much quieter and distinctly relieved. Yeah. You, George, and Elizabeth nodded and offered your own points of agreement. It might not have gone as you imagined, but none of you would consider it a waste of time. It was an experience worth having. That's great. I'm sure you made the most of what you had, but we better get going.
It's very late. Perhaps we should pick dinner up on the way home.
Absolutely. It's been hours since we left, and Nicholas can always sleep in the car, since we won't be home before bedtime in either way. All the kids except for Nicholas had their faces go completely flat, and Elizabeth snorted. Mrs. Suarez didn't miss that instant reaction. She raised a brow. Derek straightened the bands of his waist and broke the news to his mom. There was a glint of amusement in his eyes. Sorry, Mom. I don't think that's gonna happen. Nicholas remained oblivious to the discussion going on about him. He was leaping and bounding from board to board, completely refreshed. His mother frowned. It was obvious to her what had occurred. Mr. Suarez was unflustered. He shared some dignified optimism.
Well then, it'll be up to keep us company.
Okay, now make a scene and chew them out. True. We'll all be together. Those words reached the small ears of the youngest person there. Nicholas had held onto Derek's abdomen, liking the sound of that promise. His older brother looked down at him warmly. Glad to have you back, Nico. And George, you're such a reliable bro. He wrapped one arm around Nicholas and reached over to pull the other brother into a hug. George welcomed and reciprocated the embrace. The Suarez trio snuggled together in a tight squeeze, and their flaking face paint rubbed off on each other. Your gaze wandered from the public display of affection and went to your older sister. Elizabeth was definitely not a hugger, but you whispered your own siblingly appreciation for her. Thanks for the help before. She gave a smug flip of her hair. Forget it. I owed you one after the grand stump for me on Daddy Day. Aw, Elizabeth. Let's go. That was all you needed. That was all that needed to be said. Your completed party took their final steps on the boardwalk, heading straight towards the parking lot. Mrs. Suarez was leading the pack. Mom! Hey, Ma! Nicholas shouted and waved to get his mother's attention from behind, while still using one hand to grip Derek. Guess what? Elizabeth carried me! She did. That's so considerate. Lisbeth. Your moms were walking arm in arm, sharing shared commentary with each other a distance from the group and tittering over what they heard. You're so sweet, Lisbeth. I am. I feel that who carried Nicholas the most today should get the biggest say in what we have for dinner. Oh wait, no, that was the wrong. I think that is one for dinner. Anyways, I'd second that. Sounds fair to me. Then we all agree. I'd guess that means Derek will be our dinner decider for the night. Probably. Derek scratched at the spider in his cheek and chuckled airily. He struggled without comment and simply continued to walk. And a perfect 3 hours. It is 3 hours. It's been 3 hours. Should have fed the kids sugar. Give those parents a real long night. Yeah. His little brothers stayed at Derek's side, and they bumped along together. You strolled with Elizabeth while the parents surrounded the set of siblings at the front and from behind. Derek's hands were full with Nicholas and George, but he snuck a fond glance over to you. None of his excitement had faded. The night was still young and bright, and you knew you could count on every person there. Despite being miles away from Sunset Bird, you felt right at home. All right, and that was the last chapter of Derek's route. Next, we're gonna have an epilogue. I don't entirely know how this works. If like the end of summer thing changes anything. Like if it will like be different for us. But like I'll find that out. I'll get back to you guys, and depending on whether we read that or not, is just going to depend on how different it is. But other than that, we're going to be starting on Derek's epilogue in the next episode, and then we'll be done. There's no more Derek after this. We'll be moving on to Baxter. And then remember what I said? That once October starts, we are not doing Our Life. We're going to be going on to some horror visual novels to celebrate Halloween, because I celebrate Halloween the entire month of October. And then we'll be back to Our Life after that. So that is the plan. Minecraft stream when I get Minecraft and when I'm not in the middle of like 5 series. all of the stuff you guys have asked for have been long series. And I'm doing all of them. But like that also means that it's going to be a little bit until we get to it. You really should get it. I plan on it. It's like the streamer game, right? Like, when it comes to games we stream, like, Minecraft is, like, one of the biggest ones. Same with Roblox, I guess. October special. Yep, October is going to be special the entire month through. Wait, really? There's no later stages? No, it's only this one.
We don't have a, Derek doesn't have an adult section. It's just Baxter as the extra route. So the only time we get, like, more of Derek is in the epilogue. Yeah, they kind of did this in an interesting way of, like, you can do a romance with Derek. It can be read romantically, but you don't get it until you get to, like, adulthood, unlike with, Cove. We'll see about it, though. We'll see about it. I don't know if the and then summer ends part is different. We're just gonna find out. So, yeah, spooky air and pumpkins, lovely, isn't it? I love it. I love this type of season. And I have a special outfit that I'm gonna be debuting once October hits. So look forward to that. I'm really excited about it. So, on that note, I guess Derek really is just summer fling. Yeah, it's sad. I think, like, in the epilogue you get more into it, but, like, yeah, Derek and Baxter also do not have, like, wedding DLCs as well. It's only Cove that gets that, so just how it is. Anyways, on that being said, I'm going to end today's episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I had a lot of fun today. You know, go to bed if you need to. If it's late, go to bed. Be good. Do good in school. I wish you all the luck on whatever you're doing. And have a nice night and a nice day. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, guys. Love you lots. Bye. Wait, before the stream ends. Okay, I'll wait 1 second. I'll wait 1 second. I have to do my outro again, though. Change to the fish sprite. You guys always want the fish sprite. Okay. I'll change to the fish sprite. You happy? You happy with this fish sprite? You happy with it? Hold on, gotta readjust Oliver. There we go. You happy with my fish sprite? I spent so much time designing an anime girl, and you guys want the freaking fish sprite. Okay. I'll see you guys. Love you lots. Bye, guys. Good night.